The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Welcome once again to The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing, with industry professionals Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight. Today's episode, Monkey and Monkey Shines. I really like Monkey Shines. That was a good movie. As a real monkey in that movie. I'm not sure if I ever caught when they were using puppets or had a fake arm holding the razor blade, but I really liked that movie. I thought the guy was really impressive at the beginning when he was doing his stretches before he was wheelchair bound. And I wondered why he was putting his bricks in. Spoiler. Go ahead, fellas, take it away.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What's up, my brother? Nice.
Yeah.
We're monkeying out a little bit,
Ready
huh?
to get down to business.
Monkey business.
Well, I guess.
Sure. That's what you want to call it.
How's regular business going?
Today was a big, giant test day, and I think it went well. I can't tell you anything else about it because I'm under a
Cool story, bro.
strict NDA. So it is one of the trickiest things I've ever been involved in.
Really? Wow, that's saying a lot.
Second only to something I can't tell you about either because of an NDA.
We're off to a roaring start this evening.
All right, so I'll see you next week. Fantastic, then. I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
How'd your callback go? You had a callback, right?
Yeah, good. No, I booked it.
No shit.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it's just a little short film here in the Chicago area, but it's about a kickboxer who's like giving it up. But I play the coach.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about that. You're like, there's no way I'm going to book this.
Yeah. Well, I read the breakdown. I was like, I'm not Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely had a good audition and then a good callback. And
Hell yeah.
yeah, so I'll be shooting that next week.
That's great.
Yeah,
Congrats.
just a few days. Little SAG thing,
Yeah.
Nice to get back out there.
No, I agree. There's not a lot going on right now, so it's good to find anything to keep the chops up and
That's right.
keep the credits flowing, as it were.
Now I'll just watch a lot of kickboxing videos on YouTube, I guess.
I mean, I just think you should watch, like, Best of the Best and
Best of the Best
Kickboxer 2. Yeah. Exactly.
Kickboxer 2. I mean, I'm sure there is such a thing, but it wasn't with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't know.
They get like Jeff Speakman in there.
Yeah, or Don the Dragon Wilson. Wasn't he in like a bunch of those? Like
Michael Dudikoff, maybe. They could have brought Dudikoff out there.
Wasn't Michael Dudikoff in like Ninja?
American Ninja.
American Ninja
Yeah.
and American Ninja 3 The Possession?
I thought it was just Ninja 3, The Possession.
Okay, maybe.
Because Ninja, I think, has Sho Kasugi in it. And then, Ninja 3 is The Domination.
Oh, yeah, sure. How could I forget?
Oh, shit. Are there any good ninja horror movies out there? There've got to be some. There've got to be.
I mean, Ninja 3 The Domination is a horror movie.
Sure.
Isn't it? Like, basically, the ninja versus, like, Linda Blair, Possessed?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. God, it's been a long time.
I don't think it's Linda Blair.
I'm pretty sure. No, it's not. I'm pretty sure at one point Sho Kasugi throws a shuriken with his feet in those movies.
Oh, man.
Like, he's got it between his toes, and it's like... Probably sticks in someone's forehead, cut to half shuriken embedded in someone's skull. Oh!
Yeah.
Looking cross-eyed up at it.
Hell yeah. Ninja 3 The Domination is an American martial arts action horror film directed by Sam Furstenberg.
Oh.
Furstenberg last in filming. Starring Sho Kasugi,
There it is.
Lucinda Dickey, and Jordan Bennett. And James Hong.
Oh, James Hong is in it?
James Hong, yeah.
Man, that guy was in everything. He's got to be one of the most prolific actors of all time.
Sure.
James Hong.
He
God.
really is in everything.
Yeah, he's still around and doing it, isn't he?
I think so. I hope so.
Me too.
I don't want to say something.
No,
and
let's
then,
not jinx James Hong. Oh, man.
Yeah. James Hong, years active, 1954 to present.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Nice going, James Hong. I'm sure
Still
probably
swinging.
with his entire canon, Ninja 3 is probably one. I would rather forget that one.
Yeah. Anytime I think of him, I just automatically
Two
think of...
green-eyed girls?
Yeah. Two girls with green eyes? How can it be?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally.
Fucking
So
A.
good.
But we are not here to talk about martial arts movies.
Although someone may now request it. Now that we have opened that door.
Yeah, now that they're like, fuck, these guys just rattled off Sho Kasugi. Yeah, we have expansive tastes
We do. Quite discerning.
here on The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing.
Exactly.
No, we are here to talk about monkeys.
Yes.
A barrel full on this episode of The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing.
Yeah. I'm Mike. That's my brother James.
Yeah, and this episode brought to you by Discord. Pairing it up once again, where we try
Thank
to
you,
take
Discord.
a new movie, a more recent release, and pair it up with something at least 10 years old. We go for a classic or just something fun.
Yeah.
And this time the Discord was like, you guys should pair up the monkey. I shouldn't give the Discord people that voice. That's not very nice.
No,
they were like,
that's...
they were like, you guys should pair up the monkey with 1988's Monkey Shines.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, they do know that, sure, the original poster for Monkey Shines does have a cymbal-banging monkey on it,
Yes.
and the poster for the monkey has what would look like a cymbal-banging monkey, but is actually a drum-banging monkey.
And that old Stephen King Skeleton Crew book had a cymbal-banging monkey on the cover, right?
Well, in the story, it is a cymbal-banging monkey.
So I think there's a lot of confusion out there where people think that perhaps the monkey is a remake of Monkey Shines, but they could not be more different.
No, they couldn't. Yeah. Do you...
Shall we just shine on like crazy diamonds and get down with the monkey?
I think we should. Have you prepared an opening statement for Monkey Shines?
I have. So, interestingly enough, digging around again on the dark web, not the Stephen King dark web like previous. No. This is regular 4chan, so, family stuff. But I found that in the original trailer for Monkey Shines, there is a poem. They wrote like a poem to go with the trailer. This is kind of like the teaser that they did. So I'm going to read you the actual poem, and then I was feeling inspired and decided to add a little bit of my own poem as well. So I'll give you their poem, and then an original piece by yours truly. So,
Excellent. Okay.
here we go. Monkey Shines, 1988. Once there was a man whose prison was a chair. The man had a monkey. They made the strangest pair. The man was the prisoner. The monkey held the key. No matter how he tried, the man couldn't flee. Locked in his prison, terrified and frail, the monkey gaining power, keeping him in jail. The man tried to keep the monkey from his brain, but every move he made became the monkey's game. The monkey ruled the man. It climbed inside his head. And now, as fate would have it, one of them is dead. Monkey Shines, an experiment in fear. So that's the OG. Now, here's mine. Yes, thank you. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. I like those beatnik snaps you got.
I should
behind.
save the beatnik snaps for when you finish your piece.
So here we go. An athlete gets hit by a car, and then his spine is shattered. His girlfriend dumps him for his doc. Gone is all that mattered. His nurse a bitch, his mom is clingy, but his brother's ideas are funky. He gives a gift to the wheelchair bound. a laboratory monkey. Shot up with brain juice and trained to serve, this monkey is dynamite. But the telepathic bond that's formed gives our hero quite a fright. The monkey stalks and kills his friends with matches, a hairdryer, and syringes. It jumps from closets and runs from halls. On marshmallows, it binges. I had trouble. I was like, okay, something there. Will the man escape the wrath of this angry capuchin? Or will the monkey have the last laugh and make a monkey out of him? As far as psychic monkey movies go, this one is totally aces. It's got a cute capuchin and lots of familiar faces. The guy from Chicago PD and his brother from Mad About You. Stanley fucking Tucci is in this, and Stephen Root too. The story's involved, the writing so-so, but the movie keeps it moving. With relationships and awkward sex, a little tongue in grooving. The only thing to make this movie better would be a monkey in a sombrero. But even some lines wouldn't be crossed by director George Romero. Monkey shines. It was an experiment, all right. Mike, what did you think?
Oh, groove on, man.
Yeah, man, yeah.
I really dig that
Monkey
beat
shines.
that you had there. You know, I'm still not sure what I think of Monkey Shines, okay? I'll be honest, I saw it back in probably 89 or whatever on home video.
Sure.
It's got that secondary title, An Experiment in Fear. You know, Ryan wanted to change the title from Monkey Shines to An Experiment in Fear.
Yeah, because they thought Monkey Shines was too like
whimsical.
Old-timey whimsical term. Yeah.
This movie is so strange.
Oh, it is. It is. I went on a journey with it too, but tell me.
It's not terrible, but it's not good.
Yes.
And it could be so much better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've got an idea.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Do you want to hear my monkey movie pitch?
Do I?
Yeah. Okay.
Are you going to rhyme this one too?
No, I'm not. This is my dream monkey movie. This is what this movie should have been.
Okay.
First of all, you do know this is based on a novel, right?
Well, a short story, right? Like a Stephen King short.
No, Monkey Shines.
Oh no, that's right. I see. I've gotten confused.
See, you're confusing it. Come on.
It's a British novel, right?
It is by Michael Stewart. The novel is 256 pages long. The first draft of the script was 240 pages.
A 4-hour movie.
Yeah. Could you imagine? This movie is long enough as it is.
Oh yeah. No, it's just shy of 2. It's just shy of 2 hours.
Yeah. But it feels like 3 hours. I'll be honest.
It's a mini series.
Yeah. So this is my dream monkey movie. Okay. It's like a cross between Going Ape and Home Alone.
Okay.
Quadriplegic rich guy gets a trained experimental monkey to help him. But the evil caretaker nurse, who's a fill-in temp from the agency, finds out the rich guy has a vault of money and gold. So, some small-time burglars break in. Meanwhile, they don't know the monkey is in love with the guy, so she sets elaborate Home Alone-type traps where invariably the bad guys slip on banana peels and fall into death traps and get killed, and the monkey is the hero.
Yeah.
How great would that movie have been? That would have been amazing.
I mean, monkey business, you could call it.
Yeah.
I can see the poster. It's like a rich guy in a wheelchair with a tuxedo and then a monkey with a tuxedo right next to him.
Absolutely. It's like revamping and revitalizing the Any Which Way But Lose series. Yeah, I'm gonna get Craig Perry on the phone, and I'm gonna talk him into monkey business.
The first thing that happens is you get that warning at the beginning. Well, not warning, but notification. It essentially says no monkeys were harmed in the filming of this movie.
Yeah, so right away you know monkeys are gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you remember my text message to you?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watched this movie before me, and you were like, I think I really want a monkey.
Yeah, I started the movie. I'm like 30 minutes into the movie. I'm like, I think I really want a monkey. I started looking them up online. I'm like, how hard is it to get a capuchin monkey? I'm starting to really think about it. I got the ranch. I got dogs. I got horses. Why not have a monkey in the house, right?
Man.
Sure.
And then
by the end of this movie, I sent you another message. I was like, I don't want a monkey anymore. Totally made up my mind. This is not happening.
So well done, Monkey Shines, because a monkey really is something I'm not sure anyone outside, like a professional trainer, should have in their house.
Yeah.
But the monkey's so fucking cute.
It is. It's fucking adorable.
Oh my
gosh.
This little monkey, who in the movie is named Ella, but the real monkey's name was Boo. Mm-hmm. Very well trained, I guess, although there's some pretty funny stories out there about what happened during the filming.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's get into it. Because this movie starts with Jason Begay, right? He's been on the Chicago PD show forever. And right in the beginning, he wakes up next to his girlfriend, Janine Turner, plays his girlfriend in this movie she was on Northern Exposure. We get a little Southern Exposure right at the top of this movie as you see her backside as he's waking up good. And then he's doing stretches. Obviously,
he's like naked Superman stuff, just stretching out on the carpet.
Why?
Just lunges, look at how good and strong and amazing I am.
Did you think that was a little weird though? He's just butt naked on the rug in his house, doing stretches.
Obviously pre-monkey.
You're gonna roll on something if you keep that out.
Yeah. It was odd. It was like, check me out.
Yeah,
see how strong I am.
Yeah, you know what I love? My legs and how they work. Because he's running, he's filling up a backpack with bricks. Yeah, he's running up the hill, high-fiving people. Hell yeah, I'm strong it was able-bodied.
Cue the fucking Rocky music, right?
Totally. Oh, but not to last. Because scared by German Shepherd, and then truck all of a sudden smacks into him, and he does a kind of an odd little pirouette fall as the bricks come raining down. And
I feel like they didn't know how to shoot that, because you see the vehicle stop. It's a close-up of the vehicle stopping, but you don't see it contact anything, and then he's doing like a 360 sow cow. Right?
Yeah, no, it's a little slow motion. It's like a shot from the Electric Company or something, they've screamed, "Hey, you guys," and everyone's jumping off a trampoline in slow motion kind of thing. Yeah, it is weird.
And then the brick hits the ground, shatters, and you're like, this man is broken.
He is. And we cut to the hospital and the machines that go ping, where Dr. Crack-em-Up, Stanley Tucci, is like, "Look at all the hair on his ass, nurse." It's
Yeah. Let's say some funny, degrading things, because I am a jerk doctor, and you're about to find this out in the next scene.
Totally. Save his life. He's not going to run anymore because his spinal cord has been severed from the neck down. They'll bring him home shortly thereafter. I'll say this about this movie. I really went on a journey with this movie because I expected Monkey Shines to be ridiculous in a way that Leprechaun was.
Sure. And it completely is not.
No.
This is a drama. This is a serious film.
And at times, it's really good, I think, at what it does.
Yeah. George Romero, before he passed away, at one point, he still claimed Monkey Shines was his best film.
Well, in terms of the direction, I don't know that I would necessarily disagree with him. And I don't mean that it is a better movie than, Dawn of the Dead or... Romero's an icon, and the zombie movies are absolute, game changers. But I won't say that I ever really think of the direction in those movies. I think of the storytelling. I think of the metaphors involved. I think about some of the way that he completely changed the game. But it's not like I ever really think of Romero's technique as what makes him awesome. But I think this movie is, for a lot of it, is actually really tightly made. It's very good storytelling. There's some things I think he does terrifically in this movie. Even compared to like other 80s movies and the storytelling that goes into them, I think George Romero has like a real grasp on this one. Because these scenes where he's coming in and he's not adjusting and everybody's kind of looking at him like, hey, welcome home. But it's obvious he is not happy with, he's getting depressed with the way his life is going and falling apart and changing it. And eventually he will try to commit suicide with a dry cleaning bag.
Yeah, pretty disturbing image, actually.
Oh, it is. It is. We meet all the characters, though, when he gets home there. We meet his girlfriend again, who we find out has been messing around with the doctor that saved his life. We meet his mom, who's a little clingy, but of course her boy has just gotten out of the hospital.
Yeah.
His brother misses the party because he's too busy zapping lab monkeys.
Yeah, and jacking himself up with something he won't sleep.
Yeah, what is that about?
I don't know. He's like a drug addict, and he's doing the monkey experiments. I mean, do we see what he's doing yet at that point? Do we see that he's like freezing a human brain? Doesn't look like a human brain, but he's freezing it, and he's shaving off pieces, and he's just like boiling it in reanimator fluid, and then like sucking it into a syringe, and then stabbing monkeys with it. Like, I'm going to make you super strong or super smart, I guess. And I'm like, okay, I don't know about the science behind this. Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah, he literally is putting like brain flakes in a beaker or a flask and boiling it with a Bunsen burner. And
those are delicious, brain flakes.
Yeah, part of a balanced breakfast.
That's right.
But yeah, that's one of the bad things about this movie. I guess I put like science what? But
yeah.
I've watched enough fucking science fiction or sci-fi movies or horror movies or superhero movies where I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna let this
shrug
pass.
Your shoulders at it, and you're like,
I'm not gonna check the math on this. Although his brother's lab is like the filthiest lab for any fucking scientist.
Yes, it is.
It's like half-eaten sandwiches everywhere. He keeps all his serum in the refrigerator next to his like open jar of grape jelly and his knocked over styrofoam cup from Roy Rogers or wherever the fuck it was.
Yeah. Fucking mess.
Not the most sanitary environment, and that's not even counting all the monkeys that are going crazy.
Like a dozen monkeys in cages just jumping up and down, fucking hopping all over.
So it sets the table, Alan, that's Jason Begay's character. He's come home adjusting. His brother is a scientist who works at like a college lab doing experiments on monkeys with a human brain. And after Alan tries to kill himself, his brother finds him at the house, the dry cleaning bag stuck down his throat.
Yeah.
So his brother decides, after Alan goes back to the hospital, and the doctor is like, it's clinical depression. Like,
yeah, duh.
No shit, doc. Really?
This happens to a lot of people that are paraplegics.
Yeah.
You don't say. Who'd have thunk? That's when you find out his girlfriend is banging the doctor.
Yeah. His brother happens to bump into the girlfriend and the doctor together in the hospital, and there's a good little interaction there. John Pankow playing the brother, also awesome. I mean, there are legitimately good things about this movie, and I think, as batshit as it is, I think the acting's pretty solid in this.
Yeah, no,
everybody carries it.
Sure, absolutely.
Jason Begay is kind of strapped to that wheelchair the whole time. He's just head acting throughout this whole movie. It's just head and face and voice. That's all he's got. John Pankow was great. So when it's not focused on Alan, typically it's focused on him in the lab. And he's
he almost wasn't in this movie because Romero saw To Live and Die in L.A. And said, ooh, I want John Pankow in this movie, and sent the Monkey Shine script, maybe it was 240 pages, over to John's agent. And John's agent never fucking gave it to him. And Romero saw John at a party and was like, hey, we never heard back from you about the script. And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, I want you in this movie. And so he personally got him the script, and John Pankow is in the movie.
Yeah, he's great. And like I said, when it's not Alan's character, it's really him. And he's able to carry this thing. Playing the kind of he's shooting up. I wouldn't call him like a straight up junkie scientist, but he's definitely like riding the edge for a lot of this movie. And
Completely.
It's kind of a cool character.
Doesn't he even say something to Jason Begay's character that if I can stay up by the time I'm 55, I will have lived to be 65?
Yeah, he says something about, if I can stay up every 3 days, that's an extra 8 hours a day. And he does the arithmetic actually to...
Yeah, 65 years of living in 55 years.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Sure.
Honestly. But when he finds his brother, tries to kill himself, he takes matters into his own hands and decides he's going to give him a helper monkey. So he takes one of the monkeys from the lab and he meets up with a monkey trainer. Katie McNeil plays Melanie in this. Mm-hmm. And she specifically trains monkeys for quadriplegics. And he wants to donate his monkey to her so she can train it and give it to his brother. Well, you haven't done anything weird to it. It hasn't been injected with anything, has it?
No. This is just a lab monkey, and we're good to go.
It's all hepped up on brain juice.
Reanimator brain juice. That's
Yeah.
what this monkey's been jacking.
And he's like, it's a pretty smart monkey already, so you might have an easy time training it. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
She agrees. And then we get the monkey coming in. His brother comes in with Melanie, wheeling the cage. I guess they didn't tell him, hey, you're getting a pet monkey.
Surprise!
He's a little skeptical. The nurse, the live-in nurse, though, not happy. What
Christine
is
Forrest.
this? Yes.
Do you know that she was Romero's wife?
At the time, I did know that. And she
Yeah.
plays such a bitch.
She
in
does.
this.
Yeah.
At one point, they're like, oh, are you the nurse that's taking care of Alan? And she's like, yes, God has given me that burden.
Yeah.
Not
Great.
exactly the bedside manner.
Sounds like it's going good. Sounds like you're helping that clinically depressed quadriplegic by letting him know how annoyed you are. And she's got that budgie, that little bird,
Yeah.
which apparently Romero and her had a bunch of budgies in their house. It was like their thing. That was his personal little touch to add to the script, was that bird.
Alan doesn't like it, though. And my God, could there be a worse prospect in the house than a bird flying around if you were essentially just ahead and you couldn't swat it away? That's got to be...
That would suck if you're just ahead. A bird landing on your face. Flies.
So he gets a monkey. What's this all about? And they're like, hey, the monkey's gonna help you. Okay. But pretty soon, this monkey starts doing its tricks, and there's not a person in the theater that's not like, aww.
I know. I'm
What a
texting you
sweet
going,
monkey.
I want a monkey.
Fuck yes. It's great. It's a cute little monkey. And apparently it was not easy to find that monkey, right? Because when they originally went looking for trained monkeys, the Capuchins that they train all have their canines taken out.
Yeah.
And because that was going to become a part of this movie, they were like, nah, the monkey needs to have its sharp teeth in. So I can't remember what sort of farm or trainer they eventually found one from, but I gotta say, it's a talented fucking monkey.
Very talented monkey. That monkey, Boo, did like 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
And Tom Savini, of course, who did the makeup effects for it, not that there is a lot of makeup effects. And I think that was probably one of the reasons why this movie failed. They pitch it as a horror movie. It's not terribly a horror movie. It has horror elements, but it's more like a weird genre drama with sci-fi flavor and a little bit of horror mixed in. But with Tom Savini doing the gore, everyone's like, oh my God, this is going to be like like the monkey's like a slasher. No, not so much.
No. Later on in the movie, when the monkey really gets amped up, it goes from sweet, Ella to Furious George, and then we get some action. but you're right. For most of this movie, and like we said, it's long, it's this drama about this guy learning to live with his disability and the cute-ass monkey that's helping him out. And
there's George and the big-hearted man.
There is this whole montage where Melanie's in the house and she's training the monkey and she's hooking up, she's pimping out that wheelchair, giving him lights, a little device to put treats, little marshmallows that drop down into a basket for the monkey when it does good. She's showing him how to use a laser pointer to get the monkey to go get him books and things like that. I mean, God bless him. Jason Begay being a sport here because he's sitting there in that chair and they're like, yeah, just pick that thing up off the floor. So the monkey goes and picks the straw up off the floor and then it's like just putting it in his mouth.
Yeah.
I guess at one point in this movie too, because the monkey is like feeding him at certain points.
Yeah,
like
feeding him grapes.
Yeah, feeding him grapes or marshmallows or little chocolates and stuff. And I guess the monkey really got along with him.
Loved him. Yeah.
Yeah. And at one point feeding it, it took a little turd out of its butt and put it in his mouth.
Yeah. Exactly. And he's like, oh! How great is that?
That is fantastic.
The way the monkey did it, too, it like had the grape, and it was like, I've got a grape, I'm going to feed it to you. And then it was like, we're ready to go because they were shooting that scene, and the monkeys, or the monkey Boo, wouldn't always do what they needed to do. So they would be like, okay, we got to roll lots of footage. Romero shot more footage on this movie than any other fucking movie he ever shot before.
An average, I think, of 16 takes with the monkey every single time. Yeah,
exactly. So they're like, okay, let's just roll on this. Let's get it. We'll try a grape. He's not going to give it to me. No, okay, we try again. He's not going to give it to me. Okay, he gave it to me. Great, roll. He gave it to me again. Great, roll. And the monkey's coming in with the grape, stops, drops, grabs a turd, shoves it in his mouth. How fucking great is that?
I got one more take for you.
Yeah.
Can we get one more, Boo? Fuck. We've got it.
Absolutely. This is a Hollywood Monkey Minute. Good shit.
There's some other good shit with that monkey, too. I was hearing that for some reason, there were just trainers or people on set that the monkey did not like. And they couldn't really figure out why, but anytime they'd come around, the monkey would get agitated. And so they just learned that in the scenes where the monkey has to look mean or agitated or
bring that person in.
You just bring in Jake, the sound guy, and the monkey immediately starts being like...
How would you like to be that guy on set that makes the monkey mad?
You hope there's some hazard.
Could you have Jake come over, please? Is it the monkey again?
Covered in bandages.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
So great.
But yeah, we get this whole montage of the monkeys being trained, the wheelchairs being pimped out. Hey, this Melanie girl is really cool because Janine Turner has dumped him. She's with the doctor, right? So he's like, oh, this woman's nice. This monkey is great. The monkey's like hugging him. The monkey is helping him study because he was a law student before the accident. So, and then you go to school. At one point, this montage sweeps over to him back on the college campus, rolling down in his wheelchair, and all the students, the quad, are like, "Oh, is that a monkey? Is that your monkey? Oh, it's so cute!" And he's back in the classroom, and they're talking about certain laws on the books or cases that have been decided. Who can tell me what the outcome of this one was? And everyone's raising their hand, and then the monkey raises its hand. Ah, ha, 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 it's funny.
That was pretty great.
They call on him, and he knows the answer. The monkey's been helping him study. I mean, I have to tell you, going into this movie, I thought this was going to be Leprechaun stupid. And at this point in the movie, I'm like, I think I really like Monkey Shines. Nothing we've watched to this point surprised me more than this movie in terms of like what I was expecting and what I got.
Sure. It's a weird thing because I think part of why this movie failed is because Orion fucked it over. right?
Yeah.
I mean, the poster doesn't know justice. The weird poem, people were pissed off about that. Did you hear about that? About people being pissed off about the poem?
Yeah, saying his chair was his prison and
Yeah,
things
correlating
like
the
that.
chair to the prison, and people that were quadriplegics were like, oh, it's terrible to look at it like that. And so quadriplegics
insensitive,
were out
yeah.
there in their wheelchairs, raising their heads and nodding about how angry they were.
Look, I think they've got a point. And at the end of this movie, when we get to the end, I think it's a legitimate point that they
it is. Sure.
they treat this disability a little cavalierly.
They do. I mean, they found a sciencey way to get out of it. Right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't injecting him with brain reanimator monkey fluid. Although I might take some. My birthday's coming up. And, I'm a man of a certain age. So at some point, perhaps brain reanimator monkey fluid is going to be what I need. You'll have to let me know when that day comes.
You might be suffering from low brain monkey fluid or LBMF. Yeah, so he loves the monkey. Everybody loves the monkey. They love it on the college campus. They love it in the lab. Who does not love it is Nurse Bitchface.
No.
She calls it a little pest, a little beast. She continues to treat our boy Alan just so terribly. And then at one point, she's bitching at him, leaves the room, and Bogey, her little budgie parakeet, flies in, lands on his face, starts pecking at his eyes.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Fucking crazy. No,
Yeah.
I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
Well,
You know who
monkey
else
understands.
doesn't want that shit? Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Monkey don't want that either, because when the nurse is sleeping, the monkey creeps into her room and goes into the cage. And that's when you get, you
Curious
said,
George and the Fistful of Budgie.
there's been some budgie cuts.
Well done, sir.
You said there's not a lot of special effects in this movie, but they did have to make a monkey puppet.
They did. They made a monkey puppet, and there's insert hands, and that was the stuff that was able to really sell the film. Like, anytime the monkey's interacting with something, opening the cage, grabbing something, tight close-ups, trying to grab the bird, it's all these insert arms. And they look good. Sometimes the monkey pops up in the background of the frame, just like the monkey's back and its head, and it turns and looks, and that's all puppet stuff too. But it really works, because normally, if you're going to make a movie like this and I'm going to watch it, I'm going to pick out all the puppet stuff. I'm going to be like, oh, that looks like a puppet. That looks like a puppet. But not once did I get bothered by this stuff. I didn't think,
no.
oh, that looks fake. Because it really didn't. I just never thought about it. I was buying the fact that it was a real monkey because so much of it is a real monkey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know a couple times specifically where it's a puppet just because you're like, there's no way you're doing this with the real monkey.
Yeah.
It would literally try and tear your face off if you wrestled around with it like that.
Yeah, totally.
But you're right. Whenever they have to have the puppet in frame for a long time, they would often shake the camera, or the camera would be spinning around to sort of mask the lack of movement from the actual puppet. The actor would shake it and the camera would move, and that would essentially sell it well enough. But boy, that nurse is not happy when she gets up in the morning and she puts on her slipper and there's a dead parakeet inside.
Yeah.
What a fucking, this is a Sicilian fucking capuchin monkey. Like, what a message that is. Like, I'm gonna put this right in your fucking slipper, huh?
Yeah. Huh? You know who sleeps with the fidges?
Yes, Bogey sleeps with the finches.
Yeah.
Now, tell me this, though. Was that a real dead bird? Because that looked like a real dead parakeet.
Yeah, that was absolutely a real dead parakeet.
Yeah. The way that thing flopped out of the slipper, I was like, oof.
But I mean, you can buy these things. I'm a man of a certain
Already
age.
dead?
And I know that you can buy already dead birds.
Oh.
Because, they'll taxidermy them or something like that. So what they do is when an animal like that passes away, they'll just freeze it, and then they'll save it for the time that they're actually going to. Because I can go and buy a bird. You need a bird? I'll get you one tomorrow.
Wait, if I need 10 birds, can I get like a discount?
Maybe. It depends. But like we've bought real bird wings and things like if we're making a bird puppet, we'll buy real wings because that's the way you're going to, make it work, right? You've got everything the way it should be and all the feathers the way it should be. Mm-hmm. And so you'll use elements of that and you buy them from a specific place and it's all frozen. So I'm sure they just bought a dead budgie that was frozen. And then when it thawed out, they just used it on set.
Yeah, the way it flops out of that slipper, it seemed very apparent. Like that was either like an exquisitely made prop.
Yeah.
Or they just said, we'll use the real thing.
Definitely was not a prop.
Maybe it was one of Romero's own.
It could be. They had a bunch of them. Maybe one died, and he went, let's put this in the fridge because we're shooting that scene on Tuesday.
We'll honor it in celluloid forever. Business. Return to monkey business.
That's right. Curious George and the fondue pot. What are some other good Curious George titles?
Oh, Curious George and the Electric Fence. I think that was what
that's a good one. Curious George and the carving knife.
Yes. This movie is taking a turn, though, right now, too, because you are getting some of that weird science element as Alan and the monkey are sharing now some sort of odd telepathic bond. And this, for me, is where the movie... I said I'll wave my hands at the way that the brain juice is supposed to work, but in the actual storytelling of how these two things are happening together, how he is sharing this bond with the monkey, I do feel like there are some steps missing in this process, or it just gets a little thin, that relationship.
Well, it was probably in page 160 to page 190 of the script that they probably had to lose.
I swear to you, I have seen still shots of this movie with like Jason Begay in a big sort of rig on his head, with all the diodes attached and all that kind of stuff. And that is not in this movie at all. I think there's maybe some deleted scenes out there that might help bridge the gap here. Because yes, the monkey and its master are now sharing, like he's feeling rages, like primal rages, animalistic anger swelling up inside. And the monkey is, killing parakeets for him. And it's going to only escalate from there. When he finds out that Dr. Yuckamup might have accidentally done surgery too soon because his spinal cord injury was part of a congenital thing.
Yeah, as luck would have it.
So he tries to call the doctor and finds out that he's staying at his ex-girlfriend's place, and then we get some sweet monkey vision. Alan goes to sleep, and in his dreams, it's like monkey POV, hollering and screaming along the ground, making its way all the way to the log cabin where he turns into Curious George and the kerosene lamp. Sets the cabin on fire.
Curious George and a box of matches.
Yeah. And roasts them both. Oh, something terrible has happened.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, too, Nurse Bitchface has been like, I'm out of here. You and your monkey can fuck off. Fair enough. It killed your bird. So his mom has come back to help him out, right? There's some scenes where she's giving him a bath and all that kind of stuff. And it is weird and it's humiliating. And I never felt like it was necessarily being insensitive or anything like that. I just got the feeling of like how horrible that would be for this guy, to make an adjustment where all of a sudden you're a grown-ass man and your mom is giving you a sponge bath at night or hooking you up in the harness and stuff to give you a bath. Weird. But after his ex-girlfriend and doctor laughs a lot and burned to death in the fire, Melanie, who he's taking a shine to, and she's taking a shine to him too. She's like, listen, she says, you come to my place and we'll just forget about this. And I think Alan is even like, something's happening with this monkey. Like, I know I could see through it, and I wanted them to die. I wanted my girlfriend to die, and I thought about killing them in the fire, and that it actually happened. You got to get this monkey away from me.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Now, come on. No, something's wrong. You got to get this monkey away. So his brother decides that, all right, I'll take the monkey back to the lab, and I'll run some more tests and see if anything crazy is going on. And then Melanie's like, hey, let's just get away from here, and you can not think about any of this stuff for a while. That sounds great. So she takes him to her place where she has a barn full of monkeys. I was like, that's where you take this guy? She's got a
Out
barn
the
full of
fire
monkeys.
and into the frying pan.
Yeah, a barn full of monkeys. I thought we could have a bonfire out back and you could just let your mind go. You wouldn't have to think about
Burning people or monkeys or anything like that. So, getting back to what you said earlier, Romero's first cut of this movie was 180 minutes.
a 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour.
Wow.
The studio recut it against his wishes, cutting out about 40% of the stuff that he had put in. So he had probably created this opus of a masterpiece, which I would like to see now, just to see what's in that. I mean, I'm sure it's got all the brain stuff and probably all these things that were quick jump to, like, how did we get there all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Probably had more of a steady build to it. I mean, this movie's already got a slow build to it. In fact, it's a little too slow. It's paced terribly for anyone that isn't over 40, right?
Yeah.
If you're under 40, you're going to be like, oh, this movie's a garbage heap.
And there is a whole plot line with John Pankow in the lab and his boss, played by Stephen Root, who...
Yeah, before he started the radio station.
Look, Stephen Root... Stephen Root is one of those actors like Brad Dourif or Clancy Brown, who are like, whenever you see that guy, like, instantly makes a movie better. This is so early in his career, he's really underused in this.
Yeah,
but
he looks so young, too.
That whole plot line goes nowhere. That one just kind of evaporates in the air, where Stephen Root wants his research and he breaks into his lab and he steals the serum and he steals his lab notes and his microcassettes and all that stuff. And then John Pankow's injecting himself with the brain juice to connect with the monkey, and it doesn't do anything for the plot.
Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere.
That's because Orion just cut the shit out of it.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's like, why'd you stop there? Like, you could have cut a lot of that shit out with John Pankow. You probably could have cut Stephen Root out completely from this movie, and it wouldn't
affect the way this movie is.
No, not at all. It would have been a tighter movie.
Sure.
But then we've got Alan at Melanie's place trying to forget about it all, and then something I'm gonna give it up.
Bravo
to Monkey Shines.
Yeah,
on this
for the
one.
sex scene. Uh-huh.
For one of the most awkward but interesting and intriguing sex scenes I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Yeah, Jason Collins, who owns Autonomous Effects, the shop I run, I said to him today, have you ever seen Monkey Shines? And he goes, man, that sex scene. He goes, when I was 13, I saw that movie and I was like, fuck, that's insane. I love that.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? She's got him in the bed and,
He's a talking head. What can you do with a talking head?
Well, he gives her head.
Yeah.
I mean, quite literally, she just sort of like raises herself up on the crane apparatus or whatever it is.
The trapeze.
Puts him in bed and lowers herself on him. And yeah. I couldn't help but think like, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Totally.
I mean, I've never seen that, but good job, Monkey Shines. Like,
I'm thinking, okay, this sounds like a great idea, but just give me a second to breathe. Because it's not like he can push her off at all.
Yeah.
And once he's there, he's there. He's just making monkey noises, trying to get out from under there. There's no way you can get out from under there.
Lucky for him, she speaks monkey, so she's quite familiar with all those sort of primal sounds. So he spent the weekend there. He comes home. Melanie's dropping him off, getting him out of the van. Mom's like, where have you been? Where have you been all weekend? And he's like, I don't want to deal with this kind of shit. And Melanie's like, whatever. Gives him a kiss before he's supposed to go back in. And boy, his mom is really giving him a lot of shit about this. And I thought, lady, you should be thrilled.
Yeah.
You should be fucking thrilled that your quadriplegic son has a girlfriend. She's like, I bet you got rid of the monkey because she wanted you to. You'd do anything for her. It's like, Cut him
I
some
know.
slack, Joyce Van Patten. You need to fucking back off here.
Mom has taken over the job of the monkey at this point.
She has.
Maybe she got shot up with some of the pan cow brain juice.
If only. I don't think there's enough to go around, though, because all of his serum has been stolen.
Yeah. Maybe that was a whole side thing. Stephen Root and Jason's mom.
You have to believe that there was Stephen Root getting murdered by the monkey in this.
I would hope so.
Where's
because
that
he's
scene?
a dick.
He is a sadist. He's like a sadistic asshole who believes animal testing should be as cruel as possible. And he just kind of like fades away into this story.
I wish I had found out if there was footage of that, because I'm sure there must be.
Yeah. Stephen getting uprooted by monkey paws. Yeah. But Alan is trying to deal with his mom, and all of a sudden he realizes that, oh, the monkey must have come back home, because he's starting to feel this rage well up within him. And Mom's like, you're treating me terrible. Why would you do this? And he's just like, fuck you, you fucking bitch. Like, it's pretty funny when Jason Begay just really just lays
Just hammering Mom.
yeah. And she just starts smacking the shit out of his face.
Oh.
Just goes after him.
This must have been a tough scene to film, right?
Oh.
I mean, she's just slapping him, and he just has to sit there and take it.
Yeah. And he's like, Mom, did you see my hand moved? Because it did for a second, like his hand moved.
Yeah.
And he's all excited. And she's like, it didn't happen. You're out of your mind. And then he's like, fuck you, bitch. And it just gets worse. Eventually.
Monkey rage.
Yeah. Eventually, Mom is like, Calgon, take me away.
Take me away, yeah.
She's going to take a bath. But, here comes Ella.
How you
Hot
doing, boo?
cappuccino coming in.
Yeah.
Monkey surveys the bathroom. Oh, there's the hairdryer. And just...
Monkey knows how electricity works. Curious George and the Electric Fence. Been down that road before.
That's right. Monkey does know. Monkey drops it in there, fries Mom. No real effect. You just see the hand and the foot stick out of the tub and tense up for a little bit. And then all the lights go out. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Of course, Alan is just in his room, and then his brother, who's all hepped up on brain flakes, I guess, his monkeys had gone kind of crazy in the lab, and he filled up 2 syringes with poison, and he brought them to, a curious choice for a weapon. He's like, I'm going to fill these syringes up instead of just grabbing like a tire iron or something.
Could you imagine the brutality of that sequence, though? He just comes in with a tire iron. He's just trying to smash the monkey.
I mean, it is one of those things where you're like, it is a much smaller
No monkeys were harmed in the making of this film.
Only one monkey was harmed. You'll know the scene when you get to it. Trust us.
One budgie was harmed in the making of this film.
So, his brother's in the house. Okay, Alan, take it easy. I'm going to look for Ella. And he sees his mom in the bathtub. Oh, no. What have I done? I've been injecting this monkey, and now it's gone homicidal. And
oh, no. What have I done?
And the monkey is jumping out of closets. Some good jump scares at this point. And again, This is the part of the movie where it's really full Furious George. The Fast and the Furious George.
Yeah.
I think the monkey surprises Jeffrey, and at one point the monkey gets a syringe in his hand and injects the poison into Jeffrey. Oh.
What? No.
Yes, Mark
Wahlberg.
Boom. He falls down. Now, Jeffrey did get Alan in the wheelchair at this point. So Alan's in the wheelchair. He's trying to get out of the house. He's trying to get help. Monkey's cutting all the power. Monkey just wants to hang out with Alan. Monkey's like removing all obstacles and just wants to like chill out now.
Remember those adorable scenes like 30, 40 minutes ago?
Oh.
Like 120 pages ago where the monkey was just hugging him and making those little noises?
Yeah.
I mean, they got those scenes when she was in heat. So it literally was a love thing.
That's right.
Which is adorable.
And so the monkey just wants to hang out. He's trying to get out. And then Melanie comes over, right? He's like, Oh, Melanie's
He's not having that.
stay away. No, Monkey doesn't want any competition here.
Mm-hmm.
So, a very awkward scene. I think Monkey attacks Melanie with a coat hanger. Monkey really likes a coat hanger. I don't know why a coat hanger has become Monkey's preferred weapon. Slashes her in the face.
Wire hangers ever.
And has Monkey had straight razor already? It has. Monkey went after Jeffrey with the straight razor. Which
Curious George and the Straight Razor. Great
Monkey
book.
with Monkey with a straight razor. I think that's also a Misfits song, isn't it?
Monkey with a Straight Razor.
Monkey with a straight razor slashing at your face. Slice, monkey, slice.
Look at that blood run down the man's face. Slice, monkey, slice.
Cappuccino coming, cappuccino, get you.
Die, monkey, die. Oh, thank you, Danzig.
Yeah.
Thank you for so many classic lyrics over the years.
Yeah. But now it's got a coat hanger, and somehow it knocks Melanie out. Boom. She hits her head on the table. Alan's trying to nudge her with the wheelchair. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, Melanie. She won't wake up. And then Alan says, all right, the way out of this is sweet talk. Sweet talk to the monkey.
Oh,
and he's
man.
like, hey,
I'm starting to get sad now.
hey, play some music, monkey. Put on a little of that Peggy Lee, monkey. Originally, they wanted Ella Fitzgerald songs for this, but I guess they couldn't get the rights, so it's Peggy Lee singing in here. Mm-hmm. You'd seen the monkey dance. Oh, yeah, come on up here, monkey. Come on up here. And the monkey's trying to inject Melanie on the ground with the other syringe of poison. And he's like, no, leave her alone, monkey. Come on up here.
Yeah,
come on up here,
come up
sweet
here.
monkey, sweet monkey.
Uh-huh.
And the monkey, Ella, finally is like, oh. And gets all close. And then, it's so great.
Yeah.
So terrible.
It really is.
He just sinks his teeth into the monkey's neck. And starts shaking it viciously back and forth and back and forth.
It's Conan on the Tree of Woe 6 years later with a monkey.
Oh, it's so Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
He really takes this monkey out, hurls it across the room. Boom.
Yeah.
Monkey dies.
And I'm
dead monkey.
That's too bad. I mean, I get it. Monkey was trying to kill everyone in the house.
Yeah.
And your only weapon is your mouth.
Gotta use what you got.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's kind of fucking wonderful and terrible and brilliant all at the same time. So then we'll cut to, okay, so there is a chance they can fix his spine. So he's back in the operating room. And then you get the cheapest and most hilarious moment of this whole movie.
Yeah. Hi, this is so-and-so, the president of Orion. What I'd really like is if we could do a reshoot that's a jump scare. We need an ending like Carrie, where the hand comes thrusting out of the rocks. How about if when he gets his surgery, what if a monkey pops out?
The monkey bursts up from the back.
Yeah.
And I want it.
The fuck?
I want it as a GIF. I want that as a GIF. Just like a monkey popping up and down.
I'm sure
like
that
a Jack
can
in the Box out of someone's back because it is hysterical.
That's not something Romero wanted. Romero was not into that at all.
It's stupid.
They forced him to do that. And on the reshoots that they forced him to do, he missed directing Pet Sematary.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's crazy.
It is. Also that
That's
they could
so sad.
reshoot their stupid ending and some other crap. He didn't want to do the whole paraplegic gets, cured. He was down for it to be legit.
Yeah.
But to have it like, oh no, you're not really a paraplegic. This is a congenital thing and it's actually fixable and the first doctor should have seen this and blah, blah, blah. He didn't want to do that.
Yeah. And I think that actually is a better story to leave it.
Of course it
so
is.
that he's not cured. It really sort of takes away the sort of heft of the character's journey. Where it's a man who's learning to live with this and learning how to reconstruct his life and reevaluate his life and find value in his life. But in the end, when they just make him cured, it's sort of like, whoo, thank God I can use my legs again. Fill up that backpack with more bricks.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Our sex is going to be completely different now.
Or not. I mean, if you're into that thing.
Yeah. Good. If you want to tie me down to the bed and use the trapeze, I'll just pretend I'm a talking head if you want to go that route.
Yeah. That ending is dumb. You know, from the
It
monkey
is
popping out of his
stupid.
back to him walking again. It's really, it's
It is.
disappointing. And yeah, I wish Romero had gotten his way on that point. Maybe not for the whole movie, because I don't need 4 hours of monkey shines.
Yeah.
Especially because the book was only, 250 pages or whatever?
Yeah, 256. And the
Wow.
first script was 240.
Jesus.
You know, for those of you out there that don't know, each script page is supposed to be a minute. Of
Like
film.
a minute, right? Yeah.
That would be a 4-hour movie. Yeah. So what do you think of Monkey Shines?
Well, we try to watch all of these movies twice. And there are times when I go into having to watch the movie the second time when I just think, oh, God, I don't want to watch that again. I actually was really excited to watch this one a second time because no movie, I said it before, has surprised me as much as this one did in regards to the movie I was expecting and the movie I got. And there is a lot of this movie, I think, that is legitimately good. And as batshit as the story is, the actors really all commit. I think they do a really great job in this, and it's got a wonderful cast. I'll just admit it. That monkey is cute as hell. That monkey is fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's talented, and I like the relationship that is forged between Alan and Ella in this. I think John Pankow, it's a shame that his storyline kind of just fizzles out because I think he's really good in this movie.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie in the way that I thought it was going to be a bad movie. Like, I thought I was going to have, like, Leprechaun on our hands again, where it's, like, so stupid and silly, but it's good for a laugh. No, there's things that are just legitimately good in this movie. And I do think Romero says it's maybe his most well-crafted movie. I think a lot of this is really well-crafted in terms of the story. For instance, that relationship with Melanie, right? That relationship is great. And it's so, I think, well-written. So many times we watch these movies where it's like the guy and the girl meet and then in scene 2, he's in her panties or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this was a nice slow build. It was more natural. It was good.
Totally. They met, they forged a relationship, they went on a date. There was a lot of sort of give and take between them before, they actually had that wonderfully awkward sex scene. I think shit like that was really well crafted.
So, how many syringes full of reanimator monkey brain juice?
Reanimator monkey brain juice? Mm-hmm. You sure don't want to go with monkey with a straight razor.
With the famous Mitzvah song, Monkey with a Straight Razor?
Slice cappuccino. Hopping on a parakeet. Slicing away.
Slice, monkey, slice.
Budgies in the slipper, budgies in hell. Run,
Monkey, run.
Oh, shit.
We're totally rewriting she and turning it into a fucking monkey.
Oh, my God. How many syringes full of monkey brain reanimator juice? I'm going 5.5 on this.
Oh, okay. Oddly enough, I gave it 6. Like you say, this is not a terrible movie. It's not a terrible movie. It's not a great movie. I would love to see a different cut of this movie. The second time I was on my watch through, I was like, fuck, there's still like an hour to go.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's a long movie. It's only just under 2 hours. It's like 113 minutes. But it felt like a long movie. The pacing is a little slow for today's generation. And honestly, most people will have never even fucking heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's just not on anyone's radar. Even though it's a George Romero movie.
Oh, shall we go to the lobby and then we can come back and monkey around a little bit more?
Absolutely. Let's go jump into that barrel full of monkeys and see what comes out.
Bum, 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 bum. I'll be right back.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. They're silly things to eat. The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy stores. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Show starts in 1 minute.
Oh, and we are back. It feels good to be back.
It is. It's really good to be back.
Yeah, just for those of you listening, just in terms of this recording, I recently took a trip to Japan, and we crammed a couple of episodes in before I left for said trip. And then when I came back, we did the live stream Easter show.
Yep, which was pretty good. If you're not a Patreon supporter, you did not get an invite to that because that's a special secret thing.
We watched Lucio Fulci's Zombie on Easter Sunday, and it was, as the kids might say, a real gas.
It was a real gas, man. Tyler was there with us, and we made quite a few jokes. And I believe everyone that was there, quite a few people showed up, actually. Had a great time.
You can find all sorts of great content on our Patreon. You just got to look for the whole damn thing. And yeah, if you join up, you'll get an invite to our special members-only Discord. And if you throw a couple bucks our way, you get all sorts of good stuff. Ad-free versions of the podcast, as well as access to a number of videos that we've done and invitations to live stream events.
Yeah.
Besides live stream events. Holy shit, we have a live event coming up.
A real live event.
Yeah.
That's right. We have been invited to host an outdoor screening of Friday the 13th Part 2 on Crystal Lake in Crystal Lake, Illinois, which is actually...
That's where I live. That's where I live, and I do my
I didn't want to tell everybody. I didn't want to out you and be like...
just don't give my address.
I'm just gonna go to Crystal Lake and wander around till I find James.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I know, our first restraining order. How exciting would that be?
Hey! I'm wearing a monkey suit for you!
No, we're going to host this Friday, June 13th, at Main Beach on Crystal Lake. If you are around, just Google it. You can get tickets. It's going to be a good time. There's food trucks. There's beer trucks. There's games. There's Q&A with Mike about makeup effects. And we're going to go on a little behind the scenes about the movie. I'm actually in a short film, a little horror spoof type movie that we're going to show before the movie. And
the director's going to be there. Yeah.
Shit.
It's going to be a fucking great time.
It will be a great time.
Yeah.
It's going to start at 5 o'clock. The movie probably won't start till 9 o'clock because we got to wait for the sun to go down. But if you are around Crystal Lake, Illinois...
or even 2 hours away.
Friday, June 13th, come check it out. Come find us, say hi, and laugh with us. And then watch that. The wonderful, wonderful Friday the 13th Part 2. What a movie that is.
Friday the 13th Part 2. Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
We got some good prizes that we're giving away, too. There's going to be a costume contest.
So
fucking A.
Yeah.
That's it. What more do we need to tell you? Get down there.
Yeah.
Have fun with us.
Come shake our hands. Or wear a monkey suit.
I was saying, we haven't really recorded an episode like this in a while because we did our interview with Craig Perry about Final Destination and the new Final Destination Bloodlines that is coming out.
Our microphones weren't working during that interview for part of it, so he just kept talking.
But it's good to be back here, monkeying around.
Yeah, good to be back in the saddle.
You want to talk about 2025's The Monkey?
Yeah, I want you to play along with me in this.
Okay? Okay.
And keep in mind, people, we don't rehearse any of this shit. We don't even know what the other person's going to do. Nah, I don't need you to make monkey noises.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome to Death's Treasures and Curios, my friend. I'm Al Bregyornek. I've got just the thing for a discerning collector like yourself. This charming little monkey drummer figurine. Dare I call it a figurine? More like a mechanical simian toddler. It has, let's say, character. Do you agree?
It's actually quite frightening looking, but...
It's got a certain je ne sais quoi, I would say. A certain questionable charm, as it may be. Yes, yes?
Yeah, I don't like the way it's looking at me, but go on.
Well, let me tell you, this monkey's had some interesting owners. There was one guy who bought it thinking it would bring him good luck in his amateur hockey league.
Oh.
Well, they won the local tourney, but he got so excited he slipped and fell, and his goalie skated over his neck.
Oh, God, that sounds terrible.
Not exactly the most dignified way to celebrate, yes. Would you say he was Clint Malarchucked?
I would say he was Clint Malarchucked.
You're going to have to look that up on the Google, people.
Yes, it is. You're watching Sabres hockey. Go on.
Then there was this woman who thought it would bring her good vibes for her yoga practice.
Oh.
She got so flexible that doing a particularly tricky pose, she fell, shoving her head firmly up her bum.
Oh, my goodness.
Talk about a downward-facing disaster. Yes.
Yeah, you could say that.
And let's not forget the gentleman who thought the monkey would bring him good luck in his baking business. He won a prize for his delightful croissant. But then he got so distracted by his newfound success. You like the way I said croissant?
I did. Oui, oui.
But then he got so distracted by his newfound success, he failed to notice the pilot light had went out.
Uh-oh.
The next morning when he came in, he flicked on the lights and, well, I guess you can imagine what happened.
He went out with a bang?
No, nothing like that. The lights came on and he got rather dizzy from the gas and fell and hit his head on a cutting board, launching a knife into the air that landed in his eye. Typical of a bakery shop disaster, would you agree?
That's why I stay out of bakeries. Too dangerous.
Despite its colorful history, I assure you this monkey is a great conversation starter. And the price? Let's just say it's a steal. Tell me, my friend, what do you think of my monkey?
I'm not sure what to make of the monkey, to be really honest with you. Because sometimes I think the monkey is funny, and sometimes I think the monkey is gross. But the monkey is neither fish nor fowl most of the time, and
Nor primate.
leaves me scratching my head a little bit, wondering what the fuck I just saw.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely watched the same movie.
Yeah.
And we definitely have the same vibe about it because I thought, I would say 20, 30 minutes in, I'm like, this movie's great. This is hilarious. And then it just started to wear on me pretty quickly. I just didn't find it as funny anymore.
Yeah.
And I found it to be rather odd.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
One thing I would certainly say is good is it is a character piece, and it is full of interesting characters.
Yeah,
As far as like from an actor's standpoint,
Sure.
as an actor, if you were to play one of those characters, it seems like there's a pretty wide paintbrush you can play with as far as being sarcastically weird or just like an over-the-top character. Because every character is pretty much fucking swinging for the fences.
They are. And I think that actually, I found that kind of turned me off a little bit. Again, neither fish nor fowl. I felt like in some ways this movie wanted the characters to be like, you know how the tertiary characters in a Coen Brothers movie are always very sort of quirky but also very real at the same time? These characters were all quirky, but like none of them really seemed like real people to me.
Yeah,
and that kind of
you're absolutely right.
Turned me off.
Yeah.
Like there's a number of little tertiary characters who are there and they make an impression and they're funny, but almost in a distracting fashion. Whereas I feel like when I watch like a Coen Brothers movies, those characters, like they're just fit right into the world that's being created.
No,
And
you're 100% right.
I enjoy them, but they don't distract me from the actual story that's being told.
Yeah, like Raising Arizona has so many great characters in it.
Oh,
like
sure.
Nathan Arizona. You know, he's like,
Yeah.
what was the child wearing? I don't know. They were jammies. They had Yodas and shit on them.
Can you describe the jammies, sir?
Yeah. And the old man in the hayseed place when they're burglarizing it.
Yeah.
And what's his name takes the balloons and say, "These blow up in them funny shapes at all?" Yeah. And the guy goes, "Not unless round is funny."
Yeah. It's all people like that, right? Totally.
Yeah.
Like in Fargo, oh, no, just a funny looking guy.
Yeah. Sort of funny looking.
Yeah, but this movie, I think I was often distracted, and not just by the actors and the character, but like the story and the way that it was going. In some ways, always sort of called attention to itself in a way that stopped me from really engaging with it. It's such a departure from, this is directed by Oz Perkins, who directed Longlegs, which was a movie that got a lot of buzz last year, and a lot of people really liked that movie. And
very atmospheric, very interesting film.
That
not a terrible
movie-
film. We weren't huge fans of it, but not a terrible movie.
I mean, go listen to that episode to find out why in particular I didn't dig it, but I wouldn't for a moment say that Longlegs didn't have a grasp of its tone. Like, Longlegs is just so full of dread from the beginning to the end that there is always this kind of oppressive, slow pressure on the whole thing. And
I definitely like Longlegs better than this movie.
I do too. And this movie just, I never felt like it had a firm handle on what it wanted to be. I mean, I heard Oz Perkins talking about it, and he says, you know, it's not a scary movie. It is a horror movie because it has a lot of gore and over-the-top elements in it, and sometimes those over-the-top elements are very funny.
And sometimes they're just terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Or dumb.
Well, and they get slapstick at times too.
Yeah, yeah.
These elements.
I would rather watch Airplane.
But it doesn't. Exactly. It doesn't always feel like a slapstick movie. You know, that tone doesn't carry through. You just get these moments, and in the end, it makes it feel really uneven for me.
Yeah, it's like a Naked Gun version of Final Destination, but with a monkey, but not done well. That's my review. Thank you. Good night.
Well, a movie like Naked Gun, love it or hate it, it's carrying that vibe through the whole thing.
Nonstop, yeah.
This one is just so...
spotty with that vibe, yeah.
Yeah. I remember one of the criticisms I had about Longlegs, and this is actually something that a lot of people really like about that movie, is that on repeated viewings, you can discover that there's a lot of stuff hidden in the background. And a lot of stuff that you would have not seen on the first viewing, but if you're being very attentive, you're picking up on certain things.
This is not that movie.
Increase the dread factor. Well, this movie does have some things like that in it, I think, but
Okay, well, like what?
Well, for instance, I know that tonally, Oz Perkins was trying to aim for something more akin to Gremlins in this.
Sure.
You know, that is...
Sure.
That is a horror comedy, really. And
Dick
I know
Miller
that
should have been in this movie.
if only. And I know that at one point, characters are driving up to a motel, and there is a sign outside. There's like a diner attached, or maybe they're outside a diner, and there's a sign that's lit up that says, "No food after midnight."
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I caught that.
Yeah, and I was like, that is a direct Gremlins reference right there. I wonder what else he has, because I know what I know about Longlegs, he's seeded through this movie.
Sure.
That might be little Easter eggs or nods to the films that inspired him. But in the end, I think this movie is just a hodgepodge of influences that never really congeal into a whole for me.
Yeah. And there's a lot of not great digital effects. They're not awful, but it's like, oh, that's obviously digital.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of obviously digital, because you can do that on your fucking iPhone. You can do that in a TikTok movie. You know, it doesn't impress me in any way. It's like you shot a plate, or you had some people with their heads down and then they just splash a bunch of digital blood in place of where their head was. It doesn't fly for me. And yeah, there are some practical elements, and they shot some practical elements, sure, but not a ton of stuff. And if they did shoot a bunch of stuff, it was cut out, or it was done over with digital, which, you know, doesn't fucking cut it for me.
Yeah.
So this movie has a lot of potential, I thought. Like I said, in the beginning, I'm like, this is pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, good opening scene there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an interesting open scene. It hooks you in, and it definitely makes you want to find out more about this monkey and
This is
what's
very
going on.
different from the story, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Maybe I'll save that for the spoilers.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there are things that I did like about this movie. I mean, I do think there's some good performances in it. The main character in this is a twin. So you've got twin brothers, and it starts with them as young boys. And I mean,
You know what was interesting, though, about them being twins? Those aren't the same actor as the young boys. Yet they are identical twins.
those aren't the same actor as the young boy. I'm not sure. I'm sure I don't know what you mean there.
Two different young boys. It wasn't the same actor.
For the boys?
Yeah.
No, it is.
Is it really?
Isn't he fucking amazing? Christian Convery? Yeah.
Better delete that.
You're not the first person that has actually not realized that. That kid is great.
I thought the other kid was taller even.
No, it's the same kid. So Christian Convery is playing the character as a young boy, and one of them, who is our narrator, is kind of a gentler, sweeter kid, and then his twin brother is just a real prick. He's just a total shithead. And that young actor does a great job differentiating those two characters and giving them not just different attitudes, but different physicality. I mean, one of them's wearing glasses, their hair is different, and everything. But they do a great job. In fact, I was watching an interview with Tatiana Maslany, who plays the mom in this, and she would often think of him as two kids, and was saying after they were done shooting and they were getting together to get back and promote the movie, she was thinking like, oh, I can't wait to see the twins again. And it was like, there are no twins. It was just one kid. It's just one kid this whole time. Wow. And I saw an interview where the guy that was interviewing her was talking about those two different boys, and she had to stop the interviewer and was like, it's only one kid, man. It's only one boy.
Had me fooled.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And Theo James is the guy that plays the older version of that, and he does a fine job. But if I'm just looking at it from an acting standpoint, that kid was the superstar of this movie. I was like, who the fuck is this kid?
Well, that is a better movie.
Killing it.
During the childhood sequences, it's a better movie.
Yeah.
I think that movie starts to fail when we get to the adults.
Yeah, yes, I would agree. The tone really starts to unravel at that point. Because some of the early stuff with the kids is funny and heartbreaking and troubling in the best sorts of way.
Sure.
Should we
rate it? What are we going to rate it with?
Drumsticks? You want to rate it with drumsticks?
Sure. Sounds good.
How many drumsticks will you give the monkey? Oh, yeah, nice. Drum roll.
5.
5. All right. We are on the same page. 5 drumsticks from me as well.
Yeah. This movie is half good.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. I was looking forward to this one. Even though we weren't the biggest fans of Long Legs, I think both of us agreed that Oz Perkins was definitely a director to watch and see what he does next. And I was ultimately disappointed by this one, but kind of expected a little bit more. I
was super excited to see this movie, and I kept thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch the monkey. I'm gonna watch tonight. I'll watch the monkey. I was into it, and then, like I said, 20 minutes in, I'm like, yeah, this movie's funny. Okay, I didn't realize it was gonna be so funny, but all right, yeah, I'm on board. And then I just kind of fell apart.
Yeah. It unraveled for you. Well, let's take another quick break, and then when we come back, we will spoil the shit out of the monkey.
The monkey, rated R.
We will spank this monkey.
Ooh.
Oh?
Yeah.
Is that maybe?
Sure.
I don't know.
Are we going to...
I don't know. Let's think about it.
We'll consider
and then we'll
it.
come back.
You let us know if we should spank the monkey.
We'll be right back.
On sale at our concession stand, try the perfect refreshment. Chili Dilly, a delicious pickle treat that's spiced just right for every bite. Economical, too. There's no waste. You eat every bit of the juicy goodness of Chili Dilly. How about trying one right now? Chili Dilly, on sale at our concession stand. You'll love 'em.
And we're back. Did you spank the monkey?
I don't know how to answer that.
I did not. But I did grind an organ. Hey-yo.
Oh. Ba-dum-bum. Oh.
So you liked this movie when it started out. Talk to us about that opening scene, because, you know, it's starting off with a bang. Or a twang.
Yeah. This...
And the curio shop, my friend. Yes, welcome.
I didn't want to do an Indian voice, so instead I just made up a weird character, right, for the curio shop guy, because I wasn't going to... I don't want to get canceled on episode 20. We've got like 7 listeners in India. I've seen the downloads, and I want you guys to tell your friends, because I want 14 listeners in India. So, yeah, not going to make fun of that guy that was running the curio shop. But yeah, this movie starts out crazy with Adam Scott covered in blood.
Dressed as a pilot. He's got
Dressed as a pilot, yeah, and he's got the monkey. First of all, that thing is huge.
It is a big monkey.
Yeah, it's ridiculously big. It is the size of like a fucking toddler. That's got to be like 30 inches, right? So he puts it on the counter, and the guy's like, no, you know, we don't take this back. And he's like, I didn't buy it from you. You just got to take it off my hands.
Yeah, it's a pawn shop full of all sorts of like weird
And the guy's like, oh, this
and
thing's broken.
junk
And he's like, don't wind it up, whatever you do. And of course, you know, the monkey starts to play the drum, and he's looking at him like, well, I mean, nothing happened, because Adam Scott insinuates that something horrible is going to happen if the monkey plays the drum.
Yeah.
Of course, something horrible happens. And was it a rat chews a rope?
Yeah.
And the rope, bing, and then shoots, and it becomes, this movie is like a Rube Goldberg death machine.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
In fact, when we were talking to Craig Perry for our last episode, we did mention the fact that there are a lot of kills in the monkey that are very Final Destination-y, you know?
Absolutely.
Just in terms of the dominoes that fall before somebody gets wasted.
Yeah,
And
in fact, when we were pitching to Discord, what do we do this movie with? Final Destination 2 was one of the movies we chose to review with the monkey, and they chose Monkey Shines, which, honestly, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I like Monkey Shines better than this movie.
Me too. Me too.
And that's strange to say that.
The rat chews through something. It knocks into a statue of like an old-timey diver holding a harpoon gun.
A harpoon that fires off. Yeah, it goes right through the store owner. And then retracts, pulling all of his intestines back, which kind of dumb. Kind of not really going to happen at all. But whatever. Sets the tone.
Sure.
For what this movie is.
You're going to get over-the-top gags, and it will be just one after another in this movie. So buckle up, because this is a movie where the physics are taking a back seat to the carnage, you know.
And science as well, taking a back seat.
They're just going to try and make people blow up in the most spectacular fashion. Science be damned. Yes, the pawn shop owner is eviscerated, and Adam Scott sees a flamethrower, and he's like, I'm taking it all down to hell.
He does a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and melts that fucking thing.
Yeah,
into
everything.
Nothing. Again, this is another thing I'm not a big fan of, is how this monkey reanimates itself, rebuilds itself, teleports, all that kind of shit that it's supposed to do. Now, the Stephen King story is very different. It is about brothers. The one brother tries to destroy it by throwing it down the well, which is also in the movie. and I believe his brother dies, and then the remaining brother finds the monkey with his son, and he's afraid because of all the things that had happened in the past, and he wants to try and destroy it with his son, and they go out into a boat in the middle of a lake, and they're going to throw it in a weighted bag over the side of the boat, and they do.
Wow.
And then they can hear the monkey clanging its cymbals together as it's going into the water, and the boat starts to crumble and fall apart. Oh, actually, he left his son on the beach, right? And so he's just in the boat by himself. And the boat starts to crumble and fall apart, and he gets into the water, and he's trying to swim and make his way back. And he does make his way back to his son. And then it ends with, and the newspaper said that hundreds of fish wound up dead in the lake. And I was like, well, that's pretty dumb. So already it's not a good story. Or it has smidgens and pieces of a good story. This is one of those things, and I don't know if you noticed or found out about this. Stephen King's got that deal where you can buy one of his short stories for $1 and make a short film out of it.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
And somebody did The Monkey a couple of years ago. And I didn't bother looking it up to watch it because at that point I was like, I don't really care. But yeah, someone did The Monkey a couple of years ago as one of those. Is it
only for like
stories.
Student films or something like that? I think it is, though. Yeah, but you got to do a student film.
It's one of those things where you can adapt one of his stories for $1 into your student short film or whatever it is.
I mean, that's a pretty cool deal for
it is a pretty
student
cool
filmmakers.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong. That's a great deal. Stephen King, hats off to you for being such a nice guy. But I mean, you've got fucking thousands of stories. What do you care anymore?
Hundreds of millions of dollars, probably.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. You know. And you're over the cocaine. I mean, all things come around. So again, cocaine's going to be a thing again someday, and you'll be like, "Woohoo, we're back!"
So yeah, Adam Scott burns it to the ground, and then you get some narration from Theo James, who basically says that father was a pilot, and he passed on some secret horror to his kids, but all of his junk that he collected in his travels goes to his kids. And this is when you meet our twin brothers, Hal and Bill.
Can't believe that's the same kid.
Yeah, Christian Convery. I think I'm pronouncing his last name right. Absolutely knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
Because they're both very different. And I mean, it's just a different haircut and glasses, and they dress them differently, and the rest of it is just
one
the actor.
One looks taller than the other one.
Yeah. Hal is the nice one. He's our narrator. Bill is a real shithead. And Bill says, like, he ate more of mom's placenta, and he's always rubbing it in. He's like 2 seconds older, but he considers himself the next of kin. So all of dad's stuff belongs to him, and he's just an asshole.
Yeah. He calls himself next of skin.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Pretty much any time he can be a jackwad, he fully indulges. And Hal says, like, sometimes I fantasized about killing my brother. And there's a little cut of him standing over his sleeping brother with a bowling ball in his hand, releasing it and crushing his brother's head.
Yeah. Yeah. Prophetic.
It is a prophetic moment, and all sorts of over-the-top, sort of silly gore in this. The mom, played by Tatiana Maslany, who is an actress I just find to be so charming.
Yeah.
She does a great job in this. I never watched Orphan Black, which I hear she is just astounding in, because she plays like 5 different versions of the same character. And
I'd be interested to watch that show just because she's in it now, because honestly, she is probably the best character in this movie, as far as like not being ridiculously over the top.
No, she does seem to be able to ride the line in this better than just about anyone else in terms of the horror and the comedy, because she's got a couple of good lines in there too that she delivers somewhat deadpan that I thought were pretty funny.
Yeah.
But the first time I remember seeing her was in that Perry Mason show when they remade Perry Mason a couple years ago. She played the head of the Revival Church or whatever. Super charismatic. I think she's great.
That was a good show. I never watched season 2. They released it already, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I really enjoyed season 1. There's just too much good TV out there. I haven't gotten the 2 yet.
And now we're watching bad movies.
Oh, boy. Are we ever. And we're just getting into this one.
Yeah.
But the kids pull out, they're going through Dad's closet, and they don't find all the good stuff that you might find in your dad's closet, like a stack of Penthouse magazines or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you're playing the drinking game at home, let's go ahead and take a shot now. But they pull out the organ grinder monkey. Comes in with a big hat box. It says, "Like life" on it.
Mm-hmm.
You mean life like, dipshit? No, it says like life.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the key and see what happens.
Just like life.
So Bill turns the key and nothing happens right away.
Nothing happens, yeah.
And the boys are, Mom is single because Dad is a deadbeat who, I don't know if we know that he got burned up in the fire or he just ran away, but Mom's single. She's going out on dates. She's dancing with fellas. Hey, all right, you kids, you're going to take babysitter Annie and she's going to take you to the Benihana or whatever.
Yeah.
They go to the hibachi place. And the monkey is in the front seat of the car while they're all in the restaurant. I don't know. Why would you? I mean, it's a huge thing. Like you said, it's the size of a toddler.
Yeah.
And it is so, like
you got to put it in a fucking car seat.
And garish.
Yeah.
It's just really kind of terrifying to look at.
Yeah.
Starts beating the drums. And somehow, I mean, I don't know. I've been to Benihana a few times. I ain't never seen anyone get decapitated.
No, I don't think he's got the reach to get across that table and cut her head off.
No, what was he using, a fucking katana?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. He's like ching, 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 doing the whole thing, and he's eyeing her, and she's eyeing him, and you can see he's like, oh yeah, you're a sexy woman, and I'm gonna try and flirt with you, and Bill's getting all annoyed because Bill's like, I'm gonna marry her, and remember when they get in the car and she's telling him where they're gonna go, and she's like, now remember, don't touch the table, and he says something like, I'm a man.
I'm just a man.
I'm just going to... Yeah. Like,
I don't know if I can...
A man's going to touch it.
Yeah.
Right?
I did hear Oz Perkins talking about this story, and that originally he had said it back in the 1950s or 1960s or something. And that
I would have preferred that.
There were some moments that transported right over when he rewrote it for modern day. And that line where he's like, I was going to marry that girl was something that he was like, yeah, that's just like an old-timey kind of thing to say.
Sure.
After she dies, but it just sort of felt right to put it in there. And it is a funny line. Yeah, babysitter Annie's head falls off onto the hibachi.
Yeah, digital, except for when a head lands on the hibachi, that part was real. But man, I just not a big fan of all that shit.
We cut to the funeral, and you find out her name was Annie Wilkes, which is a little nod to Stephen King.
But also kind of jarring.
Well, I mean, if you know, you know. And so I guess if you know, it might take you out. Like, oh.
It did take me out. I was like, why use Annie Wilkes? Annie Wilkes is a cool character. Annie Wilkes didn't die
from
like
Misery.
That. Yeah.
Annie Wilkes.
Yeah, Annie Wilkes from Misery.
Yeah.
Who made it pretty far in the bracket bloodbath.
Yes,
all the way up to the
did.
Semifinals, Annie Wilkes.
Yeah, she was a sleeper. I did not expect her to take such a run, but she did great. A lot of Annie Wilkes fans out there.
Absolutely, and why not? So this was an insult to Annie Wilkes fans. She is a character that has very little to do or say and gets her head cut off, and that's it.
Yeah. Don't tell Mom. The babysitter's dead. But they go to the funeral, and this is where you get one of those characters, right? The priest is sort of the long-haired, somewhat like a stoner sort of...
I mean, he was funny.
Young kid. He is funny, but like, talk about taking me out.
So out of place.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I necessarily got it at this point in the movie because I'm still trying to figure out, like, what's the tone here? So I probably cut this guy some slack, but when we get into like Theo James's boss at the grocery store or convenience store or wherever he works, the guy who's always vaping.
All over the top characters. And at this point, I'm still kind of enjoying the fact that they're just kind of ridiculous, all these characters, but then it wears on me.
But to the earlier point about the mom, after the funeral, the boys are, sad about their babysitter dying, and Mom is dispensing wisdom to him, and she says something, she's like, everybody's gonna die. Some of us peacefully, And some of us tied up with the clothesline screaming through the duct tape and all that jazz. And that was great. I did laugh at that. And I think that actress, she is able to, if there is a tightrope that Oz Perkins seems to want people to walk, she's got it. But it happens so infrequently in this movie. Dancing with Mom and everything seems okay for a bit, but then you go back to Hal and Bill's relationship and it is bullshit. Bill is just a terrible bully, and he sicks a gang of girl bullies on Hal. And that is funny. I think those girl bullies were just some funny characters.
Yeah.
You know, they're in there for a couple of times. They take his pants, and then another time...
They smash bananas all over him.
Because they're making fun of the fact that
he likes the monkey.
Why are you taking that monkey everywhere?
I don't get it either.
I mean, it is weird.
He's taking it in the car to the restaurant. He's keeping it in a bag.
Yeah.
Like a backpack. It just doesn't make sense.
So they smash all these bananas in his hair, and Hal has had enough. And he twists the key on the monkey, and he's like, kill my brother, Bill. Well, it doesn't work. Bill gets home. It's not Bill that dies. It's Mom.
Kind of in a horrifying way.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what happened. They call it a boomerang aneurysm in the movie.
Yeah.
But she just sort of like, I mean, and especially the second time I watched it, I was like, most of the time people die in some sort of spectacular fashion in this movie. Do you know what I mean? She just, something goes wrong in her head and blood leaks out her ear and her eyes and she falls down dead. But like, that's the tamest death in this whole movie. I don't know why necessarily they didn't make her, you know, accidentally chop off her fingers and then fall into the oven and blow up or something, because everybody else gets like a 3-stage death, or they completely explode all over.
Yes.
But yeah, she falls down.
She bleeds out.
It's another funeral. And now the kids have got to go live with Aunt Ida and Uncle Chip.
I wish there'd been more Uncle Chip.
That's Oz Perkins, you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that is the director of the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, he sort of looks like an Elvis impersonator. He's got the big sideburns down. And basically, they're like, well, we never wanted kids.
Yeah.
But we're going to do the best job we can. But hey, heads up, the best job might not be very good.
Also, we're swingers.
We're swingers. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty funny, still. Like you said, the beginning part of this movie with the kids may be the best part, right?
Absolutely. I could have watched that movie for 2 hours or 90 minutes or whatever it is.
Well, now Hal's like, oh my God, the monkey killed my mom, so I gotta take care of this monkey. And he chops it up with a cleaver. And then it's like a real bloody monkey arm. What the fuck? Ugh.
Weird.
So he just goes to town on the monkey, puts it in a bag, and throws it in a garbage truck. All right. Well, now we're off to Maine. Again, a little nod to Stephen King here.
Sure. Good.
To live in the attic of the farmhouse with Uncle
Keeping
Chip
it Maine.
and Aunt Ida. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Remember the Maine, as it were. But at night, Bill looks out the window. What's that? What's that peering through the darkness? Oh, it's the monkey. Somehow the monkey is back. And again, it's a magic monkey. I guess.
Yeah. Why is it teleporting and fine
evil magic monkey? I think they actually might call it at some point Evil Magic Monkey in this movie.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a bad monkey. It's a bad magic killer monkey. Yeah. And then I wrote trying to figure out rules, ?
Yeah. There aren't many rules.
Well, we do know though.
There's one rule. Really.
When you turn the key, someone dies.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme or reason. The monkey chooses who it wants to. You can't direct it to who you want to. Because when they get the monkey, Bill's like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And he twists the key and cut to Uncle Chip's funeral.
Uncle Chip's funeral, yeah.
It's good. It's just we're instantly back. There's Uncle Chip's picture. Killed on a hunting trip, stampeded by 67 wild horses in his sleeping bag. And they cut to this discovery where they open up the sleeping bag and it's filled with like cherry pie filling. I mean, it just looks like...
It just looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was like, no. I don't think so. Okay, sure. You're being absurd. I get it. That's okay. Fine.
Yeah. Again, over the top and silly. But also, like, not always slapstick. And yeah.
Like that moment coming up pretty soon where he's dreaming of mom. And then she leans over and says something to him. And then this is when he's an adult too. She leans over and says something. And when she opens her mouth, blood pours out of her eyes and her ears and her mouth. And she goes, "Wah!" It's like a jump scare.
Yeah.
And it's kind of frightening.
It's intense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very intense. And it just doesn't ring with the rest of this movie at that point. You know, like this movie is very confused. It doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah, it's interesting because you hear interviews with the director and everything, and it seems like he knows what he wants this movie to be, but I just disagree, having watched it twice, that is what is achieved here. Yeah, the boys decide, well, shit, this killed Uncle Chip. We're going to drop this down the well. That's it. Boom, drop it down the well. We cut to 25 years later. 25 years later, I think it even says, there might be a card on there, 25 years later, Aunt Ida wakes up in bed, senses something. She's got her curlers in. She goes downstairs with a fucking 44 Magnum.
Yeah.
Just dirty, hairy, at the ready.
Yeah. Cue the fucking Lalo
Schifrin beats.
Soundtrack. Yeah.
Oh, she goes down and she's checking out the basement, nothing around. She falls through some wooden steps and comes back up with a face full of fish hooks. Well, that's unpleasant.
Yeah. That's pretty fucked up.
And then she's pulling them out. She's going downstairs to make some tea. Oh, the pilot light's blown out. Mm-hmm. So you do what you do whenever the pilot light blows out in your stove, is you get your face right up next to it.
Right near it. Try and figure out what's going on.
Comes back on. Head completely engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
And begins to run out the door.
Yeah.
And outside, down the steps, and then impales her face on a realtor sign in the front lawn.
But first she steps in a jug and then has the
like
jug on her foot.
A milk jug, yes.
Yeah. This is like O.J. Simpson in The Naked Gun.
Yeah.
When he tries to come in that room and like puts his hand on the hot stove and falls back and leans into the wet paint and turns around, steps in a bear trap.
Yeah. In my notes at this point, I said very Final Destination-y, and also it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Up to this point, I guess I wasn't completely sure. I was like, oh, well, there's some funny elements to this.
Sure.
But after that kind of death, I was like, oh, this movie just flat out has to be a comedy now. You can't do a bit like that. Like you said, it's like OJ dying in The Naked Gun.
Yeah.
It's so over the top. Like, okay, that's the kind of movie we're watching? Well, not really.
No. No, because it's not far after that. You get the terrifying mom dream with the blood streaming and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, don't forget that you kill everyone around you.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because we find out now, hey, Hal's got a kid. But he's been staying away from his kid because he
doesn't want to hurt him.
Yeah, he's got bad luck. He doesn't want this curse to follow him. I guess they haven't seen the monkey in a while, but he stays away. But it's his week with his kid, his 1 week out of the year. So he's going to go to the ex-wife's house. She's now married to Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Nice
Who
little...
wrote the book on fatherhood, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally writes books on fatherhood. And it is, I mean, for all the cameos and bit parts that we were talking about, you know, like the guy he works with, the boss, and the priest and everything. This one I kind of dig. Elijah Wood has a little bit more to say than those characters, and he's such a weirdo. Sometimes I just get the feeling like Elijah Wood is just having a very good time. Just accepting whatever. Yeah, just having like, yeah, you know what? That seems like a fun thing to do, and I'm going to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Which,
he obviously
for me,
had fun doing this character.
makes him very watchable. Because it's got a little bit of a twinkle in his eye.
I wish there was a little bit more Elijah Wood in this movie.
I have a pocket full of wishes for this movie, and guess what? None of them come true.
Yes.
And yeah, so they're like, okay, you've got 1 week to spend with your son. You're going to take him to the horror haven or something. Like they have plans to go to the, I don't know, some sort of like convention. I'm not even sure what it is. And soon those plans will change. So it becomes a moot point. But then we cut to Johnny Ramone buying a monkey at an estate sale.
Completely fucking Ramone, the lost Ramone brother.
What's up with that kid? I was just such a another odd choice. He just looks like he's wearing a bad Ramones wig.
Yeah.
Or just like a terrible dye job or something. And you can't see his
Rowan
eyes.
Campbell in like a terrible wig.
Yeah.
Very odd.
I picked Johnny Ramone because the kid's kind of a fucking idiot. And that's why I picked Johnny.
What? No.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg. He is a fucking idiot for sure.
Yeah. Okay, he's at the estate sale at Aunt Ida's house, and he wants the monkey. Brings it home, and his mom is like, "You gonna sell that monkey to the nut who never leaves his house?" Okay, subtle little clue right there.
Sure.
And then we're going to go back to the whole father-son thing for a bit where Petey, Hal's son, is doing a family tree project. And he wants to know, like, hey, tell me about your family. And Hal's just being very cagey about it. Like, no, I was an only child. And it's all very, very awkward. We get that little dream sequence, too. Not just the mom dream sequence, but there's the one where...
The giant monkey paw?
Yeah. Picks him out of bed and then puts him on the table. And then the monkey has the cleaver and chops into him, but you don't really see that happen. He just kind of wakes up, turns on the AC, can't sleep, walks outside because he gets a phone call where it's his brother Bill saying, hey, Aunt Ida is dead, and you've got to go to her house, and you've got to see if the monkey is around, because you know how it teleports and all this stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, teleports?
What?
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. And
why?
He's having this conversation, and it's like 12:30 in the morning because he looked at the clock or whatever. He's having this conversation. A woman has come out to the pool at the motel. You know, just by myself. Just this beautiful woman in a bikini. Just going to go dip in the pool at 12:30.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Sure. Best
and this is why you understand why he turned on the air conditioning when he got up. It was all to set up the first domino on this Rube Goldberg device, which is a faulty AC unit, which sends a shock down a hose, which is filling up the pool into the water, and the girl jumps in there and explodes.
Just explodes. Yeah.
Completely explodes all over the place.
And a leg comes like flying at him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
person.
This is not what would happen.
Yeah. They weren't trying to make it realistic. I mean, they knew it wasn't what would happen. Yeah. They were going for that slapstick element.
We've seen It Follows. We know you can throw TV sets that are plugged into the pool, and all it's going to do is fizzle near you. Although we've seen Monkey Shines, and you drop a hairdryer into the tub. But
that's legit. Okay.
That is legit.
Your ticket is punched, man.
You're taking 220, 221.
Whatever it takes.
Nice.
Yeah, well, the woman explodes, and Hal's like, Petey, we gotta go. What? We gotta leave right now. Okay, get the fuck out of that motel. And he decides, okay, I'm gonna take you to my aunt's house. I just found out she died.
I mean, the kid's got to talk him into it. He's not wanting to do anything, and the kid talks him into everything he can. So, the real estate agent, one of my favorite characters.
She's great. There's somebody who's making the most out of her moment. And she, I don't know, that character actually fit in for me. It wasn't so, like his boss, the priest, the cop who will come interview him a little bit later when the real estate agent gets it. They're all just kind of oddly too young and too quirky for the roles that they're playing. Yeah,
very young. Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the casting decision was on that. But Barbara, the realtor, she comes and spills the beans that, hey, Hal's got a brother, Bill, and what a character he is. And Petey's there the whole time, like, I thought you said I was an only child. And then Barbara tries to give Petey her card.
Yeah,
He's
which
like,
was great. I love that. She's just passing the card forward, waiting for him to take it. And he's like, I just found out I had an uncle because, my dad didn't tell me and blah, 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 blah. And just going on. And her arm just awkwardly extended still with the card. And at the end, she's like, so no card. Okay. No, puts it back in her purse.
She'll take Hal and Petey into the house, and as she's going upstairs, so Hal can look around, she's like, oh, yeah, we had the estate sale, and we made almost $100, but, it's just been a bunch of freak accidents lately. Yeah. And goes into this montage of like, well,
we're gonna have a montage.
On Monday, we had Ida, and it flashes back to her burning head. And then on Tuesday, it was Mitch McDonald, and cuts to like a lawnmower chewing on somebody's body lying on the ground.
Yeah. And a guy drinking a beer, getting blood splashed in his face as he's drinking a beer, staring at the guy getting hit. I'm like, well, that's weird.
It is weird.
Like, what is that?
What it is not really that funny.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was just like, okay, confusing. Yeah. Move on. Yeah,
it's supposed to be funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah, the guy making a cappuccino, fucking melting his face off.
You mean Bert Bergerson?
Yeah.
That's a funny name.
Yeah.
Oh, Bert Bergerson. Espresso vapor-faced. Just completely incredible melting man's himself.
Yeah. Again, the science, no. But go on.
Sure. Well, because it's Nancy Rizzoli is next. She's at the golf course and looks in the hole and a cobra springs out.
Yeah. Attacked by a cobra. And it looks like black, like ink is coming out.
What was up with the black ink? I couldn't figure that out.
The way the blood colored on the video, I didn't quite understand it either. It didn't make any sense to me.
No.
But the funny line is when he says something like, Cobra? There aren't any cobras here. And she goes, well just the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barbara's killing it. Barbara's doing great. Barbara is delivering the goods here.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate because Barbara is also about to get exploded.
Yeah. Yeah. In a good way, too. That was a good death.
Opens the closet door, and I guess a shotgun that didn't make it in the estate sale sort of like falls over and just blows her head off.
Yeah.
Turns it into a fine red mist, which just paints our man Hal right behind her. Mm-hmm. He gets to do the classic, I'm going to take my glasses off so you can see the
blood is not where my glasses were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That old chestnut. Have you ever had to blast an actor with gore like that? So they have to do some sort of bit like that, or they leave a shadow on the wall behind them because the gore didn't spray there?
I have certainly blasted people with gore plenty of times, but I don't know about leaving a shadow. Did I tell you about the time on Hostel Part 2 when the person who is basically doing like the producers would come by, or the money people would come by, or the people for, certain magazines and interview shows would come by and want a tour, right? And we're outside and she's walking them around. She's publicity. She's doing publicity on the show.
Okay.
Walking around people, showing them the set, introducing them to the makeup effects guys and yada, yada, yada. And we had a headless body outside, strung up, plumbed with blood tubes, ready to go for a scene where an actress gets her head cut off and the body slumps over and jetting blood everywhere. And someone stepped on the trigger for the blood, and blood just erupted out of the neck of the body as we were all standing around it, and a shower of blood fell on all these like people that were coming by.
No way.
Look. Yeah. And everyone was horrified and amused at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah. And then they just kind of went on. It was like, ooh, okay.
I got your press release right here.
Yeah.
PR this.
Yeah. But someone had literally just stepped on it and it just blood went everywhere. Good stuff.
How about a little AB for your PR? Amazing.
Yeah.
So Barbara's head has been blown clean off.
Yeah. It seemed like most of Barbara was blown clean off in that.
Yeah, Yeah, the cops come over, but also like a bunch of cheerleaders and other people
I
who are
didn't
like,
understand that.
I don't get it either.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. Maybe that's a hidden chestnut to some
You
Stephen
can't-
King thing or something, but it did not make sense at all.
No, what?
What? No.
Yeah.
You can't.
Exactly.
That's
Mark
too
Wahlberg.
big of a moment or too big of a thing to make it like some sort of Easter egg. There's like 8 cheerleaders out there, like yay, and some other people around. It just confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one bites the dust. Hooray!
Very confusing.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But those fucking cheerleaders, they'll get theirs. You just gotta
That's
wait
right.
for it.
Super digital.
And then when the cops are done interviewing him, there's a call with Bill. Hal realizes that Bill is in town somewhere. And then when he looks in the phone book, he finds a listing for Mrs. Monkey, and he realizes that Bill has the monkey.
Yeah.
This is a really uneven story, too.
Super uneven.
Like, I'm not exactly sure how these dots are all lining up. You know, how everything's getting into place other than it was written on the page that way at this point.
It is this moment I start to punch out.
Yeah.
This movie goes from a 7 and dials it way back.
Sure. And this is the moment where Bill starts narrating for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of like a repressed man-child who stopped growing after his mom died, and then his obsession with the monkey and finding the monkey because he has come to a realization that Hal turned the key long ago, and that's what killed their mom. So
Killed their mom, yeah. Or his mom.
yeah, because he doesn't even kind of think of his twin brother as having the same mother somehow, I guess.
Major
Whatever.
plot point.
Yeah. So he gets his old childhood suit and he makes some adjustments on that and then some other clothes, and he just looks like a weird sort of clown with his like old suit, and it's too short in areas and patched with other
he looks
fabric
a little like
from when
Angus
he was a kid.
Young. He's got the schoolboy outfit on.
He does.
And
He's got kind of a mullet, like a short mullet.
Yeah.
He does look Angus Youngy.
Yeah, he's
oh my
just
God.
missing the hat. That's all, and a guitar. That's all.
Monkey struck!
Oh, that would be great. Monkey struck.
Monkey struck! Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he does look Angus Youngy. I didn't even think about that. That's great. But Bill has a plan now. He wants Petey to turn the key. He realizes that whoever turns the key
Isn't gonna die.
Gonna die. He wants Petey to try and turn the key so that it can kill Hal in revenge.
Yeah, because he's been trying to kill Hal for days, and it's just killing everyone in town instead.
Everyone in town. The whole montage was there was a monkey behind it.
Yeah.
And then you get that weird sequence where Hal's boss chokes on his vape pen.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Weird.
It's stuck in his neck, too. You see the shape of it pushing out on his neck.
Yeah, because he steps on a rake and it hits him in the face when he's taking a hit. And then it just, like, goes into his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think so, but okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Bill's not the only one that wanted the monkey, because Johnny Ramone has decided, hey, he wants the monkey back. And I don't know why he wants the monkey back.
It reminds him of his father or whatever.
But he's like,
doesn't make sense, but fine. Okay.
Hey ho, let's go get this monkey, I guess.
His dad used to be a cop. He takes his dad's old uniform, puts it on, and he's going to go to fucking Hal.
Yeah.
And rob him, essentially. Take me to where the monkey is, right?
And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to take you there. I met your brother. You look just like him. Okay. Just push the plot forward here, Johnny.
Yeah.
So they blitzkrieg bop over to Bill's lair. You know, he's like in this old motel or something, has, I don't know how, amassed sort of like a supervillain's lair full of booby traps and stuff.
Yeah, and a stack of televisions that all have monkey programming on them.
And Petey slips through the doggy door to get in there and, avoids a couple of booby traps. And then ends up turning the key, even though his dad said, what if you do? Don't turn the key. And his dad is still in the car with Johnny Ramone.
Yeah.
Dressed as a cop.
And we're about to get the worst death in the whole fucking movie.
It is the worst death. What the fuck?
It is so stupid.
I mean, it is stupid. Oh, man. We couldn't agree more about this one.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So Johnny Ramone is he's like, oh, his hat's so itchy. And he shoots accidentally, past his head and through the window where they've noticed this giant beehive. And they're looking at,
it's
oh,
a
my
wasp
God.
nest.
Oh.
Anyway, that's okay. I had an entomologist already correct me on it.
Well, I guess if it bugs you that much. So they're looking through, they see this big wasp nest, and they've just shot into it. And then you see this wasp come out, and a stream of wasps shoot out through the hole that was made by the bullet in the windshield, and they all go directly into Johnny Ramone's mouth.
Yeah. Okay. Huh?
I didn't know wasps worked that way. Yeah, and I'm okay even if it's sure, no one will blow up from getting electrocuted like the woman in the swimming pool and getting their face melted by an espresso machine. It's not like I love those gags, but okay, if that's what's... This one seemed to cross a line.
Yeah.
It's not what wasps do, because not only did they all, 1,000 of them go into his mouth, but then they kind of burrow out of his face afterwards.
Yeah, and his whole face just starts to disintegrate. It all digital, weird. Come on, what the fuck is that? None of this makes sense. I feel like that's somebody just going, I don't know, just make it do that.
Yeah, and it just keeps falling short.
Yeah.
So, well, hey. Guess what? Hal doesn't have to be in the car. He's going to join Petey and his brother Bill in there.
So we can end this movie.
Oh, boy. Before Hal gets there, Petey is like, I don't want to turn the key anymore. I want to get out of here. And Bill has a fit. He has a tantrum. And he's like, fucking monkey, I'm going to make you fucking drum or whatever. And he's trying to force the monkey's arm, and it's not working. And then he gets kind of
it throws him
across the room by this thing.
Superhuman monkey strength.
Okay. Yeah. And then it starts fucking drumming like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Million miles an hour. Yeah. And that's what ends up, we start getting all sorts of disasters. Yeah. Now, I did think it was kind of a funny joke, but the problem is I'm over the movie at this point.
I 100% agree.
Early in the movie, Petey had gone to Hal and said, hey, look, there's a place around here that does skydiving. I feel like that's the kind of thing that we could do.
They do
and he's
weddings.
Like, no. He's like, they do weddings, too.
Yeah.
And so at this point in the movie, when there's all this chaos, you see a plane crash in the distance.
Yeah.
And then through the ceiling of this place, bodies just start falling in there.
Yeah.
And there's a bride and a wedding gown.
Yeah.
Yes. And
fucking,
okay.
Yeah.
I would have laughed harder at that if I wasn't done with this movie.
Yeah, if you weren't ready for it to already be over, so you could move on to watching it a second time and take notes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, despite all this carnage, the brothers reconnect.
Mm-hmm. She was my mom, too.
Yeah. Listen.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, it wasn't anybody's fault. We didn't deserve this. There's apologies. There's tears. There's connection.
You killed my mom. She was my mom, too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah, you're right. Dumb.
Yeah, weak sauce.
Come on.
Okay. Hey, look. Petey and I are leaving. We were going to do this thing. Why don't you come with us?
Yeah.
Hey, all right, I will. Now, we had gotten a couple dominoes from a Rube Goldberg device that had pushed over earlier, but the monkey has one last drum beat.
Bing.
Flips the man into the pan. The trap is set, and the bowling ball loads into a cannon, which fires off and blows Bill's head off.
Yeah. And prophetic.
Digitalissimo.
Yeah, prophetic because earlier the same bowling ball was held over his head by Hal. And he imagined crushing his brother's head with it.
And it's mom's bowling ball, and it's got
Yeah.
her name on it. And
Lois.
now it's like planted into the wall behind his decapitated body.
While slop falls from around it. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So we're going to drive away, and there's just fucking carnage everywhere. You know, all the monkey drum beats. Somebody's
Stuff you
looks like
saw
they've
in the
been
trailer.
impaled with a surfboard. There's a woman running with a flaming stroller.
Yeah.
And there's some narration about, like, we're going to keep this monkey close and we're going to make sure that it doesn't harm anybody else. They get to a crossroads where suddenly there's like a pale horse, and upon the pale horse was death, which
was weird.
Something that they had mentioned earlier in the movie, but was this really supposed to mean something?
Yeah. You know what's missing in this movie? It has no a lot of things. Okay. It has no lore or anything to go off of, you know?
Yeah.
Like, had this movie opened in a curio shop with Adam Scott buying it from, you know, a Chinese guy with the fucking super long mustache.
Exactly. Some sort
just
of
like
mystic
Gremlins.
peddler. Yeah. Some sort of
had it
mystic
been
peddler.
like Gremlins, and he would say, "Oh, this monkey gives you one wish, but something bad will always happen." You know,
it needed
Yeah.
something like that.
A frame.
It needed
It
a
did.
give and take.
It-
and it
you're
had
right.
none of it.
It really needed some sort of frame to it because it was coloring outside the lines the entire movie. And at the end, I was like, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here anymore. But if they had given us some sort of rule, some sort of framework that it could have bounced off of or, you know, subverted at the right moment, that you're right.
Yeah.
That would have, I think, made it a lot more watchable. But
I had such high hopes for this movie. So disappointed.
let's go dancing. Because that's what Mom would have liked.
That's
Okay,
what Mom would have
fine.
liked. Yeah.
Fine, they're going to go dancing. And then that's when the car drives away and that busload of cheerleaders pulls up again. And they're like, yay, yay, yay. You know,
Again,
they're hanging out the
confusing.
windows of the bus. Like, okay. And then a truck comes by and
Yeah.
And
they're
destroys them
all
all.
just splattered. Yeah.
why? It was like the most unnecessary button.
It was amusing, but again, yeah.
I couldn't figure out what the fuck, like, why do I need this button? I don't know what these cheerleaders are. I don't know what purpose they seem. You just wasted a bus full of cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I guess you don't like cheerleaders.
I guess. Again, in a dumb digital way. It's a throwaway gag. Anytime you do something like that, it's just so throwaway. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I had been done with this movie for a while.
Yeah. But I would watch the 3-hour cut of Monkey Shines.
Before I'd watch this again, I would. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just because I'm an old man enjoying this story. But
yeah,
as fucking batshit WTF science that Monkey Shines was, it was working. I think you've hit it. That movie was working within some sort of framework. This movie was not, or at least I didn't get it. You know what? If we're wrong about it, send us an email at thewholedamnthing13@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Discord if you're part of our Patreon. Let us know that, hey, we were wrong. You guys missed the whole point of
maybe
this
we
movie.
Didn't get it. Maybe
Hey, no, it's possible. It's possible. But I did not enjoy this. I expected better from Oz Perkins because I really, with all the problems I had with Long Legs, the direction, I still thought it had a lot of promise.
The craftsmanship
as a director.
that went into
the
Long
craftsmanship
Legs is not in this movie at all.
No.
It's almost like he was just having a laugh the whole time. And I get that, but it is so uneven. It doesn't hit it. There's just so many things missing.
Yeah, it's not funny enough. It's not scary enough. And it just lost me after a while. But other than our Gmail, where else can they find us, Mike?
You can find us at Patreon. Go be a subscriber at Patreon at the $1, $2, or $4 level. Plenty of good stuff you can get there. You can find us at patreon.com, and it is the whole damn thing. Now, if you do want to subscribe, do it through the website. Don't go through Apple. If you've got the Patreon app and you go through Apple and you say, I support so-and-so on Patreon, maybe I'll go do that. No. Do it through the website because Apple's going to charge you another 30% and you're going to end up paying more money. And that's only so that Apple can get their nut. And they don't need it. They don't need their nut. just go to patreon.com on the web. Sign up through there. Find us through
Absolutely.
there. Whole damn thing.
Tell your friends to give us a listen, too. If you've got friends who are horror fans, let them know they can find us anywhere. Give us a listen. Give us a rating. Write a review.
Please write a review.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Ring that bell on YouTube. All of that stuff helps us out tremendously. It's a big help. You can find us on Instagram, or the whole damn thing 13 at Instagram. We post a lot of funny memes, some old horror trailers.
TikTok, the whole damn thing as well.
Yeah.
All kinds of good trailers and stuff that we're starting to post nowadays as we're realizing how we need to feed the algorithm with things that are fun. And let's face it, we're fucking fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you made it this far, you got to agree.
Who else is going to modify Misfits lyrics to be about a cappuccino mugger with a razor blade? That's just us. You're not going to get that kind of content anywhere else. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to write that whole song now. I want to write that whole
pretty sure we can do
damn song.
Ain't going to take much for us to do that. All we need is a karaoke version of Bullet. I'm going to go look it up. And we'll do it. We'll put it on the Patreon. It's going to happen.
Sweet.
Now it has to happen because I said it'll happen.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, go find us out there. And if you're in Crystal Lake, Illinois, or a good drive from Crystal Lake, Illinois, come see us on Friday, June 13th. It's going to be a fun screening, an outdoor screening. Come do it.
Yeah. You do have to get tickets, and from what we understand, last time they did this, it sold out, and people were scalping tickets. We don't want that to happen, so just Google it. Crystal Lake, Illinois, Friday the 13th, Part 2. It'll pop up. You can buy tickets right there. And
wear a costume. There's a chance you're going to go home with cool prizes.
Oh, yeah. And stop by, say hi to us, take some photos, and we'll have some laughs.
Feed that algorithm. I don't know why I did a Wolfman Jack voice there.
That algorithm. Ow! I'm Wolfman Jack. Come on back.
Wrong one. We should. All right.
You know, if I hadn't have been so busy this week, I was going to give you a simian test.
Oh, what's a simian test?
Monkeys in movies, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Trust me, I had already thought about a number of answers for that one.
Yeah, going ape with Tony Danza. I'm there.
Sure. I was ready to check in with Dunstan.
Oh, sure.
I was shaking it any which way I can and every which way but loose.
Greystoke, the Legend of Tarzan, ready to go.
You know, I thought about the same thing, and I was like, I could ask him what the name of the orangutan was in those Clint Eastwood movies. And then
Clyde.
See, it is Clyde. But the first name that I thought of was Clive, and I was like, Clive? When did the orangutan become British? It's like, every which way that you can. Any which way but loose.
My good man.
Good man. An orangutan.
Absolutely.
Clive. He's wearing like fucking cufflinks.
I could see an orangutan in cufflinks.
Yes,
and
of course.
A little bow tie. A tailored outfit.
Having a spot of tea with the Queen Mum.
Yes.
Pip pip cheerio. And
Totally.
oh man, that was a lot of monkey talk.
That was a lot of monkey talk. Speaking of monkeys, how about our new favorite podcast, I Want to Be in the Sequel?
What does that have to do with monkeys? Are you calling those girls monkeys? That is not very nice.
I'm not. No, that's the one thing they said we couldn't call them. They said a lot of really weird things that we could say, and monkeys wasn't one of it. So no, I'm not referring to them as monkeys.
What does I Want to Do with the Sequel have to do with monkeys?
One of their latest episodes is Dead Alive.
What is... Oh, the Sumatran rat monkey.
Yes, the Sumatran. Is it Sumatran or Sumatran?
I think it depends on where you're from.
Sumatran?
Yeah, Sumatran.
Rat monkey.
When I've got a headache that won't go away, I'll take 2 Sumatran. Really cures what ails me. No, Dead Alive is one of my absolute favorite movies.
It's a great movie.
I'm not being hyperbolic. I think that movie is outstanding.
Yeah. You know, that is one we need to watch on a Friday night in Discord with the fans.
I would love that.
Yeah. By the way, I'm almost done with the zombie edit. I'm gonna drop that today.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, great. More goodies for our friends on Patreon.
That's right. But I Want to Be in the Sequel. Check out the girls. They're on Spotify. They may be even wider than that now.
If they got their shit together. Come on, girls.
Come on, girls. Mom wants to hear. She wants to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, check out I Want to Be in the Sequel. But speaking of goodies, we got more goodies on the way because we got a Redbubble store now, right?
That's right. We opened a Redbubble store. You want a coffee cup with our logo on it?
I do want a coffee cup with our logo on it, but where could I get such a thing?
Redbubble.
No way.
That's right. How
What
about a
about-
shower curtain?
Is that on Redbubble too?
Bath mat.
Bath mat? Mouse pads?
Mouse pads. Clock
what
with
about-
King Fancy on it.
Oh, I do like the sound of that. What about
Buttons.
clothing? Could I get
Clothing. Tons of t-shirts. Dresses.
T-shirts?
Mini dresses.
What about like a trucker hat?
No, they got hats there too.
I mean, I don't want that, but I'm sure they probably got that.
You want the floppy hat? You want the floppy hat? Looks like you're out there fishing.
Oh, like the, oh, sure. What do they call that kind of bucket hat?
Bucket hat.
A bucket hat.
I will not be caught dead in a bucket hat.
First, I
Just
thought you
saying.
said floppy hat. I thought you were talking about that Australian recon hat, with the one
Right.
flap over.
If you're
Do they got
if
that?
you're looking for a Sumatran rat monkey.
Yeah, no, if they had that in the Redbubble store, that would be amazing. That might be a tall order. We'll have
I think
to
that's a tall order, yeah.
we'll have to order those special.
Link is in the comments to the Redbubble store. Go buy some merch. Plenty of great shit there. There's a ton of different designs, and also we're taking ideas for designs. What do you want?
We can make it happen.
We can.
Just follow that link and check it out. Buy some merch.
Have a good time. Support the show. Thank you so much, everybody. Tyler, take us out.
The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
And that wraps up another episode of The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing. Well done, fellas. Industry professionals Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight pontificating about features past and present. My name is Tyler Patton, and I'm your announcer. Join us next time for Friday the 13th, Part 2, in anticipation of the live screening and a hell of a summer. I'm having a hell of a summer coming up. We'll see about that. I may be going to Romania. That's where they have real vampires. I think I'll film a vampire movie while I'm there. Or maybe I'll become one.